Hi, welcome to Pub Sports Radio. This is the Loshak and the Bag Show for Tuesday, May 10th. We do this every Tuesday. Jimmy the Bag. I always, whenever we do these shows, after the shows are over, I always relax. I always feel in a more jokey mood. I think back, I'm like, man, I should have made a few more jokes, maybe enjoyed the whole thing a little bit more. But the reason, it's always the same deal, because when we're actually doing the show, I'm all fucking business, baby. All fucking business about capping, about picks, about everything. Not really that much room for jokes. Not really that much room for having a good time. Because in the moment, I just care so much. I'm so prepared. My brain is 100% filled with research and what I want to say about the games, what the bets are. And I'm just all business when we do these shows, Jimmy the Bag.
Somehow, disappointingly, you did give out one loser last show, Pete. One loser.
You're never as good as you are at your best, and you're never as bad as you are at your worst. Most of the time.
Pete did give out one loser on last week's show, but 10 winners, Pete.
Yeah.
10 winners.
Yeah. Well,
shit.
I'm glad we didn't have a show yesterday, because I would have given out the Rangers for sure, although I also would have given out Calgary. Yeah, look, I'm doing pretty well overall. I feel like I have a good read on baseball and NHL right now, and even NBA. And part of the reason I have a good read on those three things is because there's nothing else to follow. So it's impossible to bite off more than you can chew at this point in the year. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling pretty good about this card, Jimmy the Bag.
Well, you are running real nice, and you would not, you would have been talked off the Rangers.
Really?
Yes, you would have. So don't worry about that. We got a bunch of shout outs to do, but let's just quickly. Last Tuesday, Pete went 5-1 plus 3.4 units in MLB, 4-0 board sweepage in NHL plus 4.07 units, and 1-0 in NBA plus 1 unit. Spectacular work. We know how much the losses hurt. So let's just sit for a second and just let the wins feel really good, because that's what you did. It was spectacular, spectacular work. And then let's give a big happy birthday to Sharpie. Happy birthday, Sharpie. As selfless as a capper as they come, and great guy. And just I know the sun is shining in San Diego. I hope you have a spectacular day. He's up early, capping all day, and he'll have a big show today at 3:10 p.m. Eastern, 12:10 Pacific. Prize Picks, MLB Prize Picks, The Walking Dead with Sharpie. Happy birthday, Sharpie. Secondly, what Dennis Garcia has done in NHL this playoffs is just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Really?
And there's Washington being Washington did deserve to win the game. The fact that Washington can push around Florida the way they are without Wilson on the ice, without Tom Wilson on the ice, is shocking. And you being so right about this is the highest scoring team in the last 20 years. Dennis thought they were the easiest first round knockout and a great opportunity for Washington or whoever plays them, and just being so right there. Calgary got back.
If he's so good, how come he was all over the Rangers yesterday?
There's no way he was. Dennis Garcia?
Okay. All right. Take that back. Maybe he is that good.
I
was all over the Rangers yesterday. I was trying to find someone else who was really smart.
There's no way. That's another thing he said. He said that even though we saw the Rangers beat the Penguins in those two big games, I think it was three games before the season ended, he was all over the Penguins 5-on-5. And the Penguins are just beating the Rangers so badly. And if Shesty's not going to step up, I mean, Dennis, the way he's seeing things in NHL is very, very impressive. And he was the only person I heard to call out Florida, the only person. And it's been absolutely spectacular. So big shout out to Dennis Garcia there. And thank you to everybody who joined us for our 48 hours of horse racing glory. It was just a roller coaster ride. And my God, we'll be back in action for the Preakness in 10 days. We'll be back in action for the Preakness here. I'll have a giant bottle of Kraken, and we'll do it all over again. So thank you guys for everyone who joined us. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. We got Sammy Calmer, play of the day, Suns first quarter, -2.5. Pete, by the way, I am on a 39-win, 16-loss run in NBA. I'm now up 8.63 units in the year after being down 23.5 units. So we've had a 31-unit turnaround. Grizzlies first quarter and first full game, yesterday was as easy as basketball betting is, I believe. And knowing their record without Ja, and especially coming off a 30-point loss, I mean, that's just Steve Kerr on the bench. I mean, that's just as easy as capping gets. So That felt very good and was very easy. Spenny Penny Bombs says Mavs or nothing. If they want this game, they have to get past early pressure of the Suns and get this game to finish. The Suns at home, game 6. One thing
can I say one thing?
Please, yeah, jump in.
So your turnaround in NBA is illustrative of many things. The one I want to highlight right now is appropriate bet sizing, because when the turns come, you want to have some cash to be able to take advantage of it. The worst thing in the world is to have a bad run, your whole bankroll's gone, and then you go on a 10-1 run, and your bet size is $2.25 per bet. So
totally.
And one thing I'm proud of in my life up to date is how I have learned to bet size appropriately. And so when the negative runs come, my bankrolls do not get scotched, and then when the positive runs come, I have something to take advantage of them with. So yeah. Good job, Jimmy the Bag, and always keep in mind appropriate bet sizing, and that's exactly why.
Thank you. And you are also healthy in the black off of calling the full game under game 2 in Boston. You're 36 and 31, 53.7% plus 2.52 units in NBA, ROI plus 3.76%. I'm 157 and 138, 53.2% plus 8.63 units, ROI plus 2.93%. So that's all going well. Shout out to Vite back from Vegas. Hope you had a spectacular time there. There's Birdie in the house. TJ says, Jimmy, you beautiful knuckleheads. Great data about our favorite MLB angle. Yes. And I haven't bet it yet, but I will. And it is our favorite angle. We will talk about that. And it occurs in Minnesota Twins, Houston Astros game today. Nasty Nate, Nut Flush, Allen, Fireside. What a great group. Thank you guys all for joining us. Polly Walnuts, Dan Kelly says, how many times did you watch Sonny Leon's ride? I've watched it probably. Actually, a little less than I thought. Probably maybe 13th. I guess I'm still kind of it's still kind of like I'm still emotionally charged, and we were in a situation. There's lots of moving parts in that. So, but it was spectacular ride, and it was too bad that we didn't pass on the information to Jose that the jockey was a Venezuelan, because I'm sure,
I would have put my entire real estate company on Venezuela. What do I say on this program every time? Always bet Venezuela.
Diehard MMA podcast in the house. There's DJ, Canadian Capri, D Jenkins, Universal Luxury. Hit the Kentucky Derby exacta box 4,100. Nice job, Universal Luxury. Spectacular work. This was the first year I didn't take my favorite horse to the field, and the field to my favorite horse. But Epicenter wasn't my favorite horse, so that. But I messed up. I got to figure this out. Parlay Poppy in the house. Look at that, Parlay Poppy back in action. We need Parlay Poppy here on the show. Is that the Parlay Poppy? I believe it's spelled differently. I don't think our Parlay Poppy had 2 P's. I wonder if that is our Parlay Poppy, who was a guest on this show many times, who now runs an adult hotel in Las Vegas. Very adult, Pete, by the way. Very adult.
That true?
That's true. He runs an adult hotel in Vegas, and women only.
Vegas. I'm an adult. I got to get out there, man.
Nah, women only at this hotel, Pete. Yeah.
There's always a catch.
And that's facts there. Danny Lopez, J.A. Lucky Power, Billy Friedrich, Mark Schillingberg, Jeff Shahadi, Serious Business, Puzzler, Lucas Ryan, giving a shout out to Sharpie on his birthday. There's Art Hayes. We haven't seen Art Hayes in so long. Great to see Art Hayes. Spenny Penny Bombs. What a great group. Fat Wally, Richie, Rich, Roger, that. Great group. Rodney Barton. I wish I could give a what up to all of you guys. I really wish I could, but we got to get to work. We have a big card ahead of us. Remo says, what's an adult hotel? I don't know. Type it into your computer. Do a Google search. See what happens. Okay, let's get to work, Pete. We have a big night ahead of us. And I have made 2 bets in NHL, and it's too fucking easy. It's like taking candy from a sleeping baby. Not even a sleeping baby. That's how easy my 2 cashes are going to be in NHL tonight. Now, I'm still just betting, as we talked earlier, I'm still just betting 1 unit, but I did double up on the spot, with 2 correlating bets. It's just too easy. I find this too easy. But it's just 1 game, and it is the 3rd game on the docket. So let's get to work, Pete, and start in NHL. You are coming off sweeping the board, although you do have the Rangers series at minus 115 hanging in the balance, but still plus 4.07 units. Your work in the Dallas-Calgary game was a thing of beauty. First period under 1.5, full game under 6.5. Stars no goal first.
And I'll tell you this, Jimmy the Bag. I've already admitted that I bet the Rangers huge and their team total over yesterday. So you can know that I'm telling the truth when I say that despite the low scoring series, I had Calgary yesterday -1 and the team total over 2.5.
Spectacular work, though. Other than that, let's not get there's going to be wins and losses. There's going to be wins and losses here, and we care most about your Tuesday action. Not going to lie. We have an AHL play today from the Rochester Americans that's going to put a hurt on you tonight. Universal Elections. How did you do overall Kentucky Derby weekend? I did poorly. I had a very nice Monday. I had a very nice Friday. No, it wasn't that nice in the end. In the very end, but like that last race in Kentucky, I had to pick 5 that, $48K to one horse, 4 of the horses over 1,000. That didn't hit. And then I kind of lost a few races. And still, it was a good enough day. And then I had all these live, because the Kentucky Oaks, I thought was the easiest bet of the 2 days. And we cashed that so easily. And I had all the doubles going on the next day. So it felt good, but Saturday was a bad day for me, Universal Luxury. I'm happy that you had a good day. I did not have a bad day, but I will make it up at the Preakness. Let's get to work, Pete. Start with Boston Bruins, Carolina Hurricanes. Would you like to set a table?
Yes, I will set this. And before we get into this game, there's one quick question. Dennis Garcia, if you're listening, just let me know. Are you going to be on the Rangers in the next game, or staying off it, or on the Pens? Be very, very curious to know. Thank you very much for answering my question. All right, Boston and Carolina. I think I've had the home team, of course, has won every game in this series, and I believe I've bet the home team in every game in this series. I definitely had Boston in their 2 home games, and I'm pretty sure I had Carolina in their first 2 home games as well. And this one I have already bet on Twitter. I said that there might be 3 low-hanging fruit no-brainers in the NHL tonight, and this might be, unless I'm not seeing something correctly, the first one, right? Not saying it's a lock, but is Carolina not a great play here? The whole home team winning every game thing rarely lasts the entire series, but for this game, I don't see why it's more likely that it ends than that it continues. Carolina is just a small favorite. I already bet on the opening line. I bet it Carolina -1. Carolina had a lot of penalties in the last game, so that is something that probably will not be as bad of a factor for them, negative for them in this one. Carolina, is this not a no-brainer, obvious, don't overthink it play?
It's not I don't think it's a no-brainer.
No?
Right?
Okay.
Look, I get it. I completely get the look, but a couple things have happened in this series. One, I wondered what Brad Marchand was going to do. Are we now seeing him sort of in the denouement of his career all of a sudden? I was very curious. I was not seeing the Brad Marchand of old. That last game, he was unbelievable. He was spectacular. 5 points in on every goal. And Carolina's power play in the playoffs is now 9.1%. So those are legitimate issues that they have. Do they want to be here in game 5 of the playoffs with Antti Ranta in net? There's another question. So, yeah, I get it. I'm not going to bet Boston. I'm not going to bet Carolina. I feel like there's a gift in NHL, and I'm just going to accept that gift and take the victory and slap ass. But I get why you would want to back the Hurricanes here at home. In game 5, they took 8 penalties in that loss. 6 were in the second period. And they scored 5 times in each of their 2 home games, so you're expecting their offense to wake up. I think it's fair what Spenny Pennybombs is saying about having Swayman back in net. I think that's a very fair thing. Billy Frieda giving us the lines right now. Svechnikov, Aho, Jarvis, Turbo, Trocheck, Nachas, Niederreiter, Stahl, Fast, Domi, Kotkaniemi, and Derek Stepan. Look, what's happened? The perfection line's back together, and they're playing like they used to. And there's a reason why they're nicknamed the perfection line. They had 10 points in game 4. Of course, Marchand had half of them. They're still without Charlie McAvoy. He didn't make the trip, but Hampus Lindholm is going to be in the lineup. And Ron Crawford, NHL spreadsheet play today's Carolina. Look, I get it. I get it. But when Marchand wakes up, that perfection line is special, and Carolina can't score on the power play. Sure that when we go back to this Pittsburgh Rangers series, the game 3 line was like a pick'em. The game 3 line had the Rangers, I believe, at even plus 100 until the market started hammering them. And then in game 4, it was a pick'em. I mean, that was just ludicrous. Here, Carolina's a good-sized favorite, and I don't want them.
All right. It reminds me a little bit, obviously not perfectly analogous, but a little bit of the Toronto Tampa Bay game on Sunday. I went huge on Tampa Bay, and then I read some article by some asshole on one of these sites saying that everyone and their mom is on Tampa Bay, but the Toronto is a better team 5-on-5 and all that bullshit. So I took a bunch of it back, and of course Tampa Bay rolled. Is it not a similar situation?
No, I don't think it's a similar situation. The Lightning are the defending Stanley Cup champions twice over. Home in Game 4, down 2-1. This is a tied series, and yes, it's important for Carolina. I mean, this is a huge, huge game for them. So, but no, I don't think it's a. I don't draw. I mean, that was, the second game and the fourth game of series in NHL and NBA, and I've watched you smash them over the years. It's a really beautiful gambling situation. I find that Game 5 can be tricky because you have the one team that has all of a sudden got the momentum after not believing, and I find it much more difficult than a Game 2 or a Game 4. So,
and also with totals, a lot of times you'll see like first 4 games of a series go very high scoring, very low scoring, and then things change on a dime for the fifth game.
Richie Rich says I'm not taking Carolina in the spot, but under 6 sees a low-scoring game. Danny Lopez leaning over. Kyle Hintley had 2K on Tampa. Putting 2K on Tampa here tonight. So, I mean, we have a similar situation here. We have the Bruins and the Lightning. They're sleeping giants, and they've both awoken. Now, will Carolina and Toronto, the upstarts that are trying to make moves in their respective divisions, get up and punch the monster in the mouth? It's up to your capping and how you see it. And I wouldn't talk you off of either decision, whether you like the home team or the road team in these first 2 games. And part of the reason why I'm so comfortable staying off is I know there's this beautiful gift waiting for me in the third game. So, look, Pete, I wouldn't talk you off of it. I'm not on it.
Okay, one very quick question. The Bruins are a sleeping giant. I thought that we had them, or that you had them pegged as a team that was, a little bit old and still good, but not as great as they were when their old players were in their prime.
You could say the same thing about the Lightning, other than Stamkos scoring 100 points. It's just the fact that we've seen the Lightning and the Bruins do this before. They've done this before in the toughest situations imaginable. They have stepped up. Do I think either of these two teams are as good as they were 2 years ago or even last year? No. But look, they've done it before, and they're going up against teams who haven't. So I can understand they're being concerned.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what I'll start with. The first game of this series, I correctly took the first period under and won with that one. I'll do it again here. I'm seeing at Will Hill under 1.5 plus 110. I'll take Boston, Carolina first period under 1.5 plus 110.
First period under 1.5 at plus 110. I think that is a bet that makes a ton of sense. Again, we go back to Carolina's playoff power play at 9.1%. If we believe that Carolina is going to come out fired up and taking the play to the Bruins, and they can't score on the power play, then I think that works. And Billy found you a plus 112.
Oh, thank you, Billy. And and a lot of times in these series, especially in the NHL, when you have a tightly contested series between 2 awesome teams, a lot of times if it's tied 2-2, the Game 5 resembles a Game 1 as well, or a Game 7. So wow, a lot of people. It seems like more people are on the Bruins than the Canes. Is anyone on the Canes?
Well, look at this. Look at our guy Billy. So Billy's going to be at the game tonight.
Wow.
He said, I already paid for my tickets, so I won't be betting this one. Just rooting on the home team.
Dennis Garcia says, give me Boston. Ron Crawford, play of the day, Carolina.
You'd have to think, though, Billy, who watches his team. I think that's such a perfect example of also why I'm not on this. Billy's watching his team night in, night out, cheering on his team, and this is their biggest game of the year, and he's not betting on them. No, he's not betting against them.
Right. Wow. Okay. Got some things to think about then. Luckily, my bet, I think that I hit on the opening line, moved significantly, so I can probably take it back. No loss. All right. Want to move on, Jim?
I do. Pete, you're on the under 1.5 at plus 112. Billy, thank you for finding that for us and having a spectacular time at the game tonight. What a wonderful opportunity it is to see a playoff game against the big bad Bruins. I think it'll be wonderful. All right, let's keep rolling.
Okay, Tampa Bay, Toronto again in their last matchup. This was also tied up 2-2. Last time they met, I was all over Tampa Bay, but again, then read an article by someone who some fucking asshole who thought he was so smart, talking about all these analytics and the 5-on-5 bullshit, and said everyone and their mom is on Tampa Bay, and I might get shit for this, but I'm on Toronto. So I took not all of it back, but a lot of it back at no loss. And of course, Tampa Bay rolled. So now I'm thinking all that statistical bullshit that guy quoted in his article, cited in his article, is still in play. And, I'm thinking that Toronto at the low line, -1, might be a great play here, Jimmy the Bag. What do you think about that? Also, first period over. I hit the first period over, even in the Washington game yesterday, which went under. I hit the first period over in that one, and that one cashed. So I'm liking first period over in this one, and probably Toronto. But I'm very interested to hear what you, and much more importantly, the comment section has to say. All these guys, Dennis Garcia, is Toronto not an easy play here? Not a lock, but obvious value?
No. And this is a very similar situation to this game we just spoke of, but let's just go right to the chat first because this is beautiful stuff. Yeah. Spending Penny Bomb says Tampa Bay asserts their dominance over my lonely Leafs and takes this one and probably the next one at home too. Dennis Garcia says, so this is the business end of the series, and I don't expect Tampa to be as awful as they were in games 1 and 3. Pedigree shows today. Tampa steals game 5. So, these players and coaches and general managers on the Leafs, their summer is hanging perilously in the balance. And this Leafs team breaks the franchise record for points. And what do they get rewarded with? A first-round matchup with the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions. This game is so important to Dubas and Keefe, whether they're going to have jobs moving forward with the Leafs, to the storylines for Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. There's so much on the line for these Leafs. And the Lightning they know what to do here. They're comfortable. You think they're nervous when they come into Air Canada Center tonight? Wait. I just want
to say, it's not that they're nervous. It's that Toronto is just as good as they are.
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of parity. I mean, a ton of parity. Sure, that's a valid statement. And that's why I'm not sitting here betting on the Tampa Bay Lightning. But I'm not taking the Leafs. I'm just going to be a very enthusiastic, very interested viewer here. What we do know about the Lightning, we saw in the regular season, we saw it again. They're now 16-0 following a loss since the beginning of the 2020 postseason in the playoffs, 16-0. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And then you look at the Leafs, and what are you getting for where is Johnny Tavares? He was nowhere to be found the last 25, 30 games of the season. He got an assist on Sunday when it didn't matter, like when it was no one cared at that point in the game. He has 2 assists in the series, and their captain has to step up here. Jack Campbell has to step up because we know the Lightning are going to. So. This is an unbelievably fascinating game that I can't wait to watch. And if I wasn't so confident in my 2 bets in the next game, maybe I make a move on these games. I don't have to. Derek Sutton says Leafs have no balls, just like the Rangers. All that is we will see. We will see. So many storylines are waiting to be figured out in both NHL and NBA, and I'm so excited. But
Leafs have no balls. They won 2 games out of 4 against Tampa Bay, one of them on the road. They lost the last game 7-3, and all of a sudden the Leafs have no balls. And this and that, and the Tampa Bay.
How did they do in the playoffs last year or the year before? They were up 3-1 on the Montreal Canadiens in the pandemic and couldn't finish that off. I mean, they lose and lose and lose and break their fans' hearts, and that's what they do. And it's up to them now to change that rhetoric, to change that storyline. And whether they do it, I wouldn't bet on it, but I don't want to bet against them in this spot. I don't really feel like – I think that – so the opening move was a 5-cent move. 5-cent move. It took like a day and a half too, but finally after a day and a half, there's a 5-cent move towards the Lightning. It's come back as of 58 minutes ago. So Leafs are back at -130. Look, if you want him, take him. I don't. Do you trust Campbell to step up in this game to go under, or is he going to get violated and this game's going to fly over? I mean, I can't wait to watch this game, but I want to make money very badly
Right.
And I see where I'm going to make it. So I'm just going to comfortably make it in that spot.
All right. Well, ultimately, it doesn't really matter what happens tonight because the most important thing in life is love. And Dennis Garcia just said, I love Pete. Thank you very much, Dennis Garcia. That's what's really important here. And no one can take that comment away from me ever. All right.
One more thing from Dennis. He says the two teams with massive back class, Boston and Tampa Bay, both as dogs, think they at least split and you win on the plus prices.
All right. I'll tell you what I will do, though. These teams are not like the other two. They, I think, are like the one to establish their identity and dominance early offensively. Not a high line. I'll take the first period over at minus 160. That's the current line at Will Hill and Pinnacle and Market Line. Probably you can find a better line if you shop around, but I'll take first period over 1.5 minus 160 to start.
First period over 1.5 minus 160. Now that makes me nervous.
Why?
This game is so important.
Right.
And you can't, there can be no penalties in the first period. You have to play very tight in the first period. It makes me nervous with the juice where it is. But if you expect Campbell to be, it's all about Campbell in this first period. Is he going to step up here? Is he going to, his whole, Campbell's career, where Campbell plays next season is on the line in this game. So it's very exciting.
Okay, it's just that these teams want to jump out to a lead first. What they do is win by offense, and that might have been a mistake, but I'll take it. If it was like 180 or so, I probably would have stayed off it. But at 160, I bet it, and I guess I'll go.
I will cheer it on for you, my man.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Let's move on to the next spot on the board. The gift,
St. Louis, Minnesota. I already took this one, Jimmy the Bag. I am on it myself. It's actually the biggest bet out of all the games that I bet, and it is Minnesota -1. Of course, the Blues have a bunch of injuries. St. Louis did manage to get a win in the last game, and Minnesota, I believe St. Louis is even starting Binnington here, which maybe that's a mistake. Maybe it's not a mistake. Whether it's a mistake or not, Minnesota money line -1, maybe even -1.5 has got to be a decent value play, if not a lock, which it's not. But it's got to be a good play, right, Jim? Minnesota.
It's got to be. It's got to be. I was on the Blues in Game 4, and Ryan Kozlowski very fairly said, "I'm shocked. You're the one that says, when teams are missing 2 of their top 4 defensemen, you must fade." But Game 4 in the playoffs at home in a must-win situation trumped the injuries to me. I just felt like they're going to step up in front of their fans. We know they're going to step up because we watched them win a Stanley Cup. We watched them go all the way to the Stanley Cup. So I just had this feeling that I love the coaching. I love the heart of this hockey team. They're going to step up here with Binnington in net. And they did. And now they go into Minnesota, and they're now missing 4 defensemen. So Nick Leddy missed his 3rd straight. Bertuzzo missed his 2nd straight. And then, of course, Torrey Krug out with the lower body injury that hurt so much. And then, when you can't have another injury, Marco Scandella gets hurt 2 minutes into the game. And they stepped up. They did it without 4 defensemen. And that storyline is just going to be over now. The Wild got to get this power play going, 11.8% in the playoffs. Their penalty killing was bad in the regular season, 76.1. It's been bad in the postseason at 72.2. And the Blues special teams is just so beautiful. They're just such a well-coached hockey team. They're such a good hockey team. Fans of theirs must just love watching these guys step up. That was a huge victory at home. So they brought up guys who shouldn't be playing. Steven Stantini, he played 3 minutes and 8 seconds. They're going to have 7 defensemen, and they're going to have one guy playing 3 minutes. They did get Prunovich back, which helps, but Kaprizov is just going to go off. He has 5 goals in this series, so I want him to beat Wes Walz and Gaborik for the most goals in the 7-game series. It was that 2003 Western Conference semifinals that just completely ripped the heart out of my chest. The Canucks were up 3-1 in that series, and the Wild came back and won it, and it just was absolutely heartbreaking. So I love Binnington back in net. I think he can keep them going. But this is, so not only is the Wild -1 just what I think a gift, but the Blues team total under 3. I got that at -112. I could have easily taken the Wild -1.5 at +180 and the team total under 2.5 at +145, but I was like, I'm comfortable with this. I'm back to what my unit size in NHL was, before the Christmas holiday cutback. So I'm very comfortable with this. Blues team total under 3 at -112. I used the -1 calculator. I got the under 2.5 at +145, the under 3.5 at -175. I'm just in love with these two bets. I'm in love with them.
All right, well, let's go with my official plays here. Start off with Minnesota Wild -1 at +110. Minnesota Wild -1 at +110. And then I did already bet the Minnesota team total over 3.5 at -105. You would prefer the St. Louis team total under?
Much, just because the Blues aren't going to get these outlet passes, and these young defensemen are going to be the last thing they're going to do is pinch. There's going to be no pinching at all. So they're not going to get outlet passes. They're not going to pinch. I'm not saying I don't like your team total over, but for me, I love the team total under here. It's just there's going to be a lot of calm and patience, and
right.
They can't do it. They've got to just say, look, we can't take any risks here. We have to play very calm. We have to get the puck out, no pinching, and it's just going to be a dump and chase type of hockey for them.
Okay, then let's add on. I'm using a Heritage line right now. Most places have 2.5 at plus money. Heritage has 3.5 at -160, so I'll take that one. St. Louis team total under 3.5 -160. I should probably fuck around and make it a 3. Maybe I will do that. But yeah. All right. I might do that and do it cross book. That's too complicated. Let's just use 3.5 -160. That's fine for these virtual bets, record keeping here.
Rembo says, "How about the under 6.5?" I don't dislike it, but if the Wild, okay. So let's say it's 4-0 Minnesota going into the third period. Minnesota. It won't matter if Minnesota puts on their third and fourth liners because they have so much depth. What will matter is the Blues will play those defensemen that are emergency call. They'll give them ice time. They'll see if they can maybe use them in Game 6. They'll give those guys ice time, and they'll start resting, the Parekos so that, there's not another injury, and see if we can use this guy in Game 6. So I'm a little uncomfortable about that. What up, Jedi for Life, my guy? And there's John Schwartz in the house. So yeah, I love this game. I'm very excited about it.
Billy Friedrich on the Blues. Johnny K says Blues got good forwards. Sure.
They sure do. They're a good hockey team.
All right. But if you had a free play, you would definitely take the St. Louis team total under as opposed to the Minnesota team total over.
Oh yeah. I mean, I bet the under and didn't bet the Wild over.
Okay. Then I'll just stick with right there. What would you think about Minnesota first period? You think it'll take a little while to shake out?
No, I don't. But I want 60 minutes.
Right.
But it's just like, look, I've got $200 on each of these bets. I know to some people that's very little, but for me, I got $400 on this game, and I want to have the most confident angles that I could possibly have, and that's just focusing on the 60 minutes and focusing on the Blues not to get to 4.
So in general, when a team is down defensemen, as we know you like to fade, is that something that shows up more earlier or later in games?
That's a good question. I tell you what, it does show up more. It shows up more with that team missing the defenseman not scoring. And it shows up with that team missing the defenseman not to play overs. A lot of people think, that team's missing 2 defensemen, this game's going to go over, and it doesn't work like that in the history of me attacking the spot. That unders come in quite a bit because that team missing defenseman doesn't take any risks and tries to limit the odd man rushes on the other way.
There you go, Jimmy, the motherfucking bag. All right, I'll just stick with those 2 plays then.
All right, so I've got you in with the Wild -1 at +110, Blues team total under 3.5 -160. All right. Billy Friedrich, Bartuzzo, Letty definitely out. Yes. Oh, well, no. Look, no. I mean, I can't say they're definitely out. They keep all that stuff really close to the chest. So no, I don't know if they're definitely out. We expect them to be out, but I can't say. I don't know. I'm not. They keep everything really quiet in the playoffs, so I don't know for sure. All right, let's roll, my man. Hunter Engelhart in the house. Richie Rich says Edmonton may knock the Kings. Oh, okay, we're going to pull that out and come back. Let's rock. Let's go.
Okay. This one, I didn't even really do much analysis because it's such an obvious situational spot, and I just wanted to hear, in terms of what the factors are, just wanted to hear how you would analyze it, right? Kings and Oilers, series is tied up at 2-2. Edmonton got shut the fuck out in the last game. Now they come home, and they're a massive favorite against a team that shut them the fuck out. So either Edmonton is an awesome bet to bounce back even at the massive favorite line because they got shut out, or the Kings are an awesome bet as a huge underdog playing the same team they just shut out a couple of days ago. Which is your opinion, Jimmy the Bag?
The talk about these home teams. You have the Carolina Hurricanes, you have the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you have the Edmonton Oilers. And which team do I trust the least of the three is the Edmonton Oilers. But we've seen them. And look, I said before this series would start, I said, I'm going to take the LA Kings money line every game. And I haven't. I've not bet against them. But I wish I had to follow through with that. I didn't. It would be a decent profit. Not much. I don't even think I'd have over I'm not even sure if I'd have over oh, no, I would have over a unit for sure because that game one was on the road. So, yeah, I'd be up over a unit with that, even though it's 2-2. But, look, Johnny Quick, I mean, is he going to – we've seen older goalies stand on their heads, and we got a glimpse of that here. It doesn't matter that the Kings have lost 2 games by a combined score 14-2. It just doesn't matter at all. It's 2-2 in this series, and that's all that's important. If you look at how the Kings scored their goals, you got Gunstrom with 2 goals and assists, Troy Stetcher, Trevor Moore. They outshot the Oilers 46-31, and we have seen this Oilers team get beaten by worse opponents since McDavid's come into the NHL. So now this is the same thing with the Leafs. Is this Oilers team going to change their story? And look, there's not a chance that I would bet on the Oilers to do that. And maybe they do. Maybe they just step up at home in front of their fans and beat up on these Kings. But I don't want them. I don't want them at all. I've just seen this. I've seen this movie. And this movie ends up with the Oilers losing. And if they're going to be a different hockey team this year because they have a little bit more depth than Hyman, just a tiny bit more depth, and a tiny bit better defense only because Nurse is becoming a star, then sure, then I can see. And look, Kyle Hintley and taking look, Dennis has done it every game. I love that you did it, Dennis. I wish I hadn't been such a bitch, but
yeah. Look at this comment from Kyle. Edmonton, put your house on it because he thinks it's like funny when people lose their house, which it kind of is. It's also kind of a dick thing to say, but it is funny, Kyle Hintley. It is funny.
Well, Kyle makes big bets and he cashes an enormous amount of them. And so, look, you want to be on the same side as Kyle Hintley. I mean, we've seen that time and time again, and he's here bullish on the Oilers. And I
thought he's posting that because he thinks that Edmonton's going to lose and he wants other people to lose their house so he can laugh at.
He's making a monstrous bet.
On Edmonton. Oh, okay. Really? Oh, okay. Okay.
Look at Rem Most, born and raised in Edmonton. So this is a similar line from Kyle Friedrich. From Billy Friedrich. Sorry, I think Kyle Hintley and Billy Friedrich. Billy Friedrich, who's been a lifelong fan of the Hurricanes. He's going to be at the game tonight. Remo says, born and raised in Edmonton. And they said 100% agree with everything Jimmy said. They should win, but wouldn't be stunned if they lose. So, if I had a free bet, I immediately would place it on the Kings and sit back and watch this hockey game. But I feel very confident in the 2 bets I'm making NHL tonight, and I need to win. I need to succeed. So I'm comfortable watching these other 3 games.
So you think that Edmonton put up 14 goals in those other games because LA just got down and was just like, sure, score as much as you want, and Edmonton was like, okay.
It just the series is tied 2-2, and what team has the now? I know that the Kings don't have a veteran defense, but I don't think it. Look, the Oilers have all the pressure on them. The Kings have none of the pressure on them. I mean, what does it matter losing these games 6-2, 6-0, or 8-2 or whatever? So I just don't think it matters. I just don't let them score as much as they want in these games. Let them run the table. Who cares? I would if I was an Oiler fan, and there's so many like heart and soul fans that just love this team so much. I would be watching this alone in the dark corner because I know what I saw when one of the shittiest teams I've ever seen in the playoffs, the Chicago Blackhawks. They couldn't have been weaker. Easily handled this Oilers squad 3-1 in a 5-game series. Now, of course, they're a little bit deeper this year.
Okay, I will pass on this one then.
Yeah, I mean, look, and I don't know. It's like I love that. I love Kyle, and I hope he cashes, and he's making way bigger bets. I mean, what's that unit size? That's what, 20 times. Or it's more. That's what, 50 times my unit size, 10K to 200. So I mean, I guess trust the guy make $10,000 bets, not the guy making $200 bets. But I just seen the Oilers not be able to handle this situation in the past until they do that, until the Leafs do that, until these teams that haven't done it, that we question the heart and soul of them, until they do it. I don't want to put my money on them. So. Yes. So did you want to make any moves here? Because we got tons of baseball to work on.
I'll pass for now.
All right. Let's review action in NHL here right now. And Pete coming off board sweepage. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day is the Carolina Hurricanes. And Pete is on the under 1.5 in the first period at plus 112. But let's give a big shout out to Ron Crawford. He's been running real nice on this show, and we love him. Then we move on to game 2. Pete's on the first period over 1.5 at minus 160 in Tampa, Toronto. I am on. Pete's on the Wild -1 at plus 110, and the Blues team total under 3.5 at minus 160. I'm on the Blues at -1 as well, and I got a plus 114, and I'm on the Blues team total under 3 at minus 112. And I'm just in love with those bets. So, yes. Billy says, which of these teams has a link to Venezuela? Sadly not. Sadly not. That's why Jose's staying off this one. Are you ready to move on to MLB, my man?
Sure.
All right, let's do that. In MLB, the first show that you were on, you were very tentative as the season had just started. The second show, you took a bunch of shots, and we both had really rough days. You have completely fixed all of that. You are now 12-9 on the young season, hitting at 57.1%. You are plus 0.71 units. Your ROI is 3.38%. Average line minus 128. A high average line, but it's 21 bets, small sample size. And I watched you over years, and I know that's going to come down. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever leads you to the black, leads you to the black. And you're coming off a 5-in-1 day plus 3.4 units. You pushed with the Twins first 5. You cashed the Blue Jays first 5, and they lost that game 9-1.
Yeah, I make a lot of, first 5, first 3 inning, first inning type bets,
They were beautiful. Cubs first 5, team total under 1.5 cashed. White Sox first 3 cashed. Brewers first 3 cashed. Reds first 5, team total under 1.5 missed. And the A's first 3 cashed. They scored 5 runs in that first inning, and you got that at plus 100. What up, Millsy, Ronnie Ambergia, J.A. Goiper, Jeffrey Blue, all you guys, thank you for joining us. Let's get to work here in MLB. Pete, it's been okay for me since I got off to that 16-27 down 14 unit start. It's been okay. Just, right now, where's my record? Oh, I'm 56-56. I'm down 4.94 units, ROI minus 4.41%, average line minus 108. And I'm only in on one bet so far. So let's get right to work. We're going to switch it around now. I'm going to set the table here for Pete. Let's go. Let me just make sure I've got everything that I need up here. We're starting with the double dip, but it does go in order. Let me just get this. Here we go. All right, let's get to work here. We start 1:10 p.m. Game 1, Detroit. The Detroit Tigers are at home, but in Game 1, Oakland will act as the home team, hitting last. But we are in Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan for this. It is 78 Fahrenheit, nice and warm at first pitch, but the wind is blowing in heavy, 14.4 at first pitch, and it goes down to 12 miles per hour. We have Tariq Skubal, 1-2, 3.04 ERA, 1.16 whip, 26 2/3, 29 Ks, 3 walks, and 2 homers. I've already moved on the Detroit Tigers first 5 In Tariq Skubbal's last start, he went 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. There were solo shots, 9 Ks, no walks, and a 3-2 loss at Houston. I was very impressed with that start. I'm very impressed with Tariq Skubal. And Frankie Montas is pitching lights out. But he's had 4 straight home starts. And you can get comfortable and you can get on a roll. And, it's very easy to keep however you handle yourselves, the day before a game and the day of the game and all that. It's very easy to keep that routine going at home when you have 4 straight home starts. But now you have a 1:10 p.m. start in Detroit. That's 10 in the morning your time. And I challenge you, Frankie Montas, to pitch better than Tariq Skubal after having 4 straight home starts and coming out on the road. I challenge you, and I do not expect you're going to do it. And I'm getting minus 110. And I think Skubal is a better pitcher than Frankie Montas. Montas' last start was a thing of beauty. 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 6 Ks, 1 walk, and a 3-0 loss at home. Tigers versus righties. Look, they don't hit them. 201, 557 OPS. A's versus lefties. They don't hit them either. 208, 633 OPS. Tigers bullpen 2.61 ERA, 1.11 whip. A's bullpen 3.26 ERA, 1.27 whip. Let's just do a quick line history and talk about where the cash is and then hand it over to Pistol Pete Loshak. This opened up at minus 110. The first move was towards the Tigers. Second move was towards the A's. That happened at 10:30 this morning. It's back at minus 110, back at a pick 'em with no movement. This total opened up at 7. Within 19 minutes, it dropped to 6.5. These are bet 3.5 lines. Dropped to 6.5 very, very quickly. And then when we take a look at where the money lies in this game, we have 7,477 tickets in. 59% of the tickets, 60% of the cash on the A's. That's fine. 47% of tickets, 80% cash on the under, and it's moved towards the under. And Big Show says, let's go Tigers. What up, Big Show? What up, CT Bays? Hunter Englehart's on the first half under 3 at plus 100. Says Skubal sinking stuff should play nice for him against the A's. Weak hitting, sinking splits. And TJ says Tigers absolutely cannot hit. Montas will shut them down. It's an under in Oakland look for me. I really, like TJ, we like to fade 7 games straight, when you switch cities, which we'll talk about later in the show. I love fading a pitcher after 4 straight home games and then pitching at 10 in the morning in Detroit in front of nobody. Now he's used to pitching in front of nobody in Oakland. Taint play of the days in. We'll get over that. We'll go over that when that game comes up. Shout out to Matty Ice. Take it away, Pete. Game 1 of the double dip.
Yeah, I haven't bet this one. I hope you cash. If you gave me a free play on it, I would take the first 5 under, as someone else said that they like, but I haven't bet that one yet at 3, and I don't think I'm going to. I think your analysis that it's a shaky spot for Montas is accurate, but I have not bet Oakland, and I probably won't. It's gonna be a pass for me, Jimmy the Bag. You did some great analysis. I just think the lines are a little bit tight compared to relative to what my numbers say they should be, and there's also a lot of uncertainty surrounding this game. Both teams are terrible. And I did have Oakland first 5 yesterday with Blackburn, 2 bad teams. So it's going to be a pass for me, Jimmy the Bag. If you gave me a free play, I'd take the first 5 under at 3.
Yeah, I would too. I like Hunter's spot there on the first 5 under. And of course, Hunter's always just looking for plus lines. And I like him going under 3 at the plus line. I like it. I just like Skubal a lot, and I told you my angle. Okay, let's move on to the game 2, the second game of this double dip. We have Adrian Martinez, who is a journeyman. I have no idea how he's got this opportunity other than the cupboard is bare. He's 25 years old, and I say journeyman because he goes up to AAA and he gets rocked every time. He does not pitch well in AAA. He's had 5 starts this year in Vegas of the PCL League. He's 0-2 with a 7.45 ERA, 1.60 whip, 19 1/3, 4 homers, 25 Ks, 9 walks. We've talked a lot about Faedo and the Tigers' belief in him and Matty Ice's belief in him. By the way, Sharpie on his birthday in the house says Skubal over 6.5 Ks plus 112, and he says cash me outside. Oakland not hitting 6 innings.
Hell yeah,
9 Ks with Oakland 30% K rate. Sharpie on his birthday. Giving out a look on Skubal over 6.5 Ks. Happy birthday, Sharpie. We love you, man.
Happy birthday, Sharpie.
Yeah, we gave him a big shout out off the top of the show. Great guy celebrating his birthday. Hope it's just a wonderful, wonderful day full of cash and glory for you, my man. Look.
Cash me outside. How about that?
I want the Tigers here. but I would like to see what happens in game one. I do want to fade Adrian Martinez. I want to back the Tigers. I don't mind if I have to take the sweep of the double dip, but I do kind of want to see what happens in game one and take a look at that. So I want to be on Faedo. I want to fade Martinez. And A's versus righties. I mean, we talked about A's versus lefties. They're a little better than 208, 633 OPS. A's versus righties, 197, 560 OPS, which is basically the exact same numbers as the Tigers. And I can have Faedo over Adrian Martinez. I will take it and bet it. That's my plan. Do you have any thoughts here for game two of the double dip?
No, I'd be vaguely agreeing with you. I'd be leaning Detroit, especially if Oakland wins game one, for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to do that, but we will see what happens in the first of the double dip. All right, let's move on to 6:35 p.m. Eastern. LA Dodgers 19-8, 9-6. Oh, I'm not sure what Jose's game is. Jose, let me know when you figure out what spot you are on. Oh, here it is. Okay. And then Dodgers 19-8, 9-6 on the road. The Pittsburgh Pirates 12-16, 6-7 at home. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's start with the weather here. 75 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 7.6 miles per hour in. It dies off down to 4.4 miles per hour. But it's a nice night in Pittsburgh. Let's take a look at the line history here in this Dodgers-Pittsburgh Gonsolin start. The Dodgers open up at minus 230. They take 5 cents at 11:11 p.m. and then 5 more cents at 9:40 this morning. So a 10-cent move towards the LA Dodgers. They open up at 8. The total opens up at 8.5 at minus 120. It drops to 8 at 9:08 at night. Then back at 12 hours later at 9:30 in the morning, comes back up to 8.5. And there's been 2 5-cent moves since then towards the under. So the under right now at Bet365 is 8.5 at minus 120. And then when we look at the cash flow in this Dodgers spot, so we have one team with full line value. I probably should have already bet it, but we have one team that we'll get on to later with full line value. Hey, hello, Ola. Hey, sweetheart, I got to work. I love you. Want to wish everybody good luck?
Who's with you?
That's Pistol Pete Loshak right there. Pete Loshak. Remember you and Mama dressed up as me and Pete at Halloween when you were little? Yeah, remember him from Costa Rica? Yeah. Okay, I gotta get back to work. I love you. Bye. Okay, so let's get back to work here. Sorry. Dodgers, Pittsburgh here, cash wise. Where the hell is it here? Sorry. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. So I said the full line value, and I'll let you guys know the full line value is on the Tampa Bay Rays, a move I probably should have already made. The second half line value, interestingly enough, Pete, is Oakland A's in game 2 of the doubleheader. This is from Sports Insights. And then the other line value is here with the Pittsburgh Pirates and Bryce Wilson. Is Bryce Wilson confirmed, by the way?
That he was a listed pitcher last I checked.
I thought there might. Okay, so we have 94% of the tickets on the Dodgers and 88% of the cash. Then we have 53% of the tickets and 65% of cash on the under. Gonsolin coming off a 9-1 win at home versus the Giants. He went 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 homer. It was solo shot, 5 Ks, 1 walk, 1.64 ERA, 1.09 whip. K to walk ratio not where he wants it to be, but a good start to the year. Bryce Wilson coming off a 3 2/3 start, 2 hits, 3 runs, none of which were earned. 6 Ks and 1 walk and a 3-2 loss at the Tigers. The Dodgers hitting 244, 735 OPS versus righties. Pirates versus righties 238, 660 OPS. Dodgers bullpen been very good. Pirates bullpen has been poor. Take it away here, Pistol Pete Loshak, Dodgers Pirates.
Yeah, we've been doing vids for a while, right, Jimmy the Bag?
We have.
What's one little bit of wisdom / caution / whatever I've given you over the years? Be very, very careful about taking awesome offensive teams as massive favorites on the road at Pittsburgh. You remember this? Remember this shit, Jim?
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday is Exhibit A, right? Exhibit A. Obviously they come in, fucking Urias starting, Quintana, so vulnerable. Dodgers are minus 200, but it's like, who cares? No, when they go into Pittsburgh, it's where huge offensive teams sometimes come to die. Not always, but sometimes. You got to be very careful. That was yesterday was Exhibit A, and this is Exhibit B. I'm not going to make this official, but I did make a small bet on Pittsburgh here. It's a quirky park, a quirky place to play. You have a huge offensive team from the West Coast coming in as a massive favorite into Pittsburgh. It's almost always going to be a Pittsburgh or nothing for me. And today I did bet Pittsburgh. I'm not going to give this as a public play, but my take on this one is Pittsburgh or nothing. Wilson's last 2 starts were short but good. So Pittsburgh first 5 or first 3, maybe I'd like a little bit more. Gonsolin pitching pretty well overall, but, maybe gotten a little bit hit lucky. Strikeout to walk ratio, not great. Obviously Dodgers are far, far, far better team, but I did bet Pittsburgh on this one, small.
Did you have any interest? I know that you also cash a ton of unders at this park. Do you have any interest in going under the total here?
No, I did not bet that one yet, or no. Totals are a little bit. I am betting totals, but my because of the weirdness in MLB this year, in many ways, not just the baseball, also the way teams are, putting more of an emphasis on things like stealing and defense and stuff like that. It's making total a little bit tricky. So I have no bet on the total here. If you gave me a free play, I would probably take the under though. Yes. That's my
Hunter Engelhardt says if you're going to take the Dodgers, might as well take the team total over 4.5 instead of the run line with worse odds. There's Hunter.
I would even disagree with that. Well, yeah, I guess if you're going to take it's yeah. Okay.
Mark Schoenberg says that win by Quintana yesterday was the first win by a Pirates pitcher this season. It was. And Pittsburgh 14-1 outscored LA last 2. LA should crush Pittsburgh here. Bad spot for Pittsburgh, in his opinion. I want nothing to do with it. And there's Nutflush Allen in the house. Love you, Nutflush Allen, my guy. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, next time some idiot comes up to me with here's my article. Why don't you want to read it? I'll be like, no, I'm just going to ask Nutflush what he thinks. Take your fucking article and shove it up your idiot ass, okay? Shout out to you, Nutflush Allen.
6:40 p.m. Eastern. Next up, Milwaukee Brewers 19-11, 9-7 on the road at the Cincinnati Reds, 6-23, 4-8 at home. We're at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. We'll start with the weather in Cincinnati. 83 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 6.2 miles per hour right to left across the diamond. It becomes slightly in by the end of the game, but it also dies down to 3.8 miles per hour. We'll look at the line history in this one in Cincinnati. We have the Milwaukee Brewers opening up at minus 180. There was a 30-cent move towards the Milwaukee Brewers, Pete, and that hit the climax at minus 210. And then at 8:12 this morning, a 30-cent move back. So that, which in turn was a 15-cent move to the Cincinnati Reds. So Cincinnati Reds open up at plus 160. They go up to plus 175, but at 8:12 this morning, back to 160. Milwaukee from 210 back to minus 180. So a move back to the Reds. Then from a total standpoint here, we have the total opening up at 8 and minus 120. The first move was towards that. The first move was, it just stayed where it was, and then it moved to 8.5. Moved to 8.5 45 minutes ago. So it's at 8.5, minus 115, then minus 120. So it has gone from 8 to 8.5. When we go over to the cash flow in Cincinnati, we have 9,230 tickets in. 85% of the tickets, 87% of cash on Freddie Peralta and the Brewers. 64% of tickets, 63% of cash on the over. Freddie Peralta coming off an 18-4 win at home versus these Reds. He went 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 7 Ks, 2 walks. Didn't look that good. Hunter Green, though, looked awful in his 10-5 loss at Milwaukee last out. 2 2/3, 9 hits, 8 runs, all earned, 5 homers, 7 Ks, 1 walk. Brewers versus righties, 237, 718 OPS. Reds versus righties, 211, 636 OPS. Reds bullpen just atrocious, 4.89 ERA, 1.43 whip. Brewers bullpen, 3.32 ERA, 1.22 whip. Good as expected. Take it away here, Pete. Brewers, Reds.
Yeah. On the overnight line, I did take a shot, small shot, just a preliminary bet with the over. Green is a classic example of a major league pitcher, throws 100 miles an hour, but doesn't get, consistent results. And so he's mostly gotten hit. And at some point that is likely to change, possibly significantly. But until that happens, I think we should assume that he'll be vulnerable. And, Milwaukee has obviously an offense that should be able to take advantage of that. If they can't, as you said, the late in the innings, that favors them as well. So I'm definitely leaning Milwaukee here. I did bet the over a little bit and leaning the Milwaukee team total over as well. Peralta is a guy who tends to get hit by good lineups, but tends to be decent versus mediocre or worse lineups, which is what we have here with Cincinnati. So I'm an inch away from giving Milwaukee -1 as an official play, Jimmy the Bag, but that's my analysis of this game.
Yeah, I get why you would, because Peralta didn't look so good last start, and he has not gotten off to such too strong of a season. He's had one really good start in the group. I could understand that. Look, what up, razor sharp picks in the house. TJ says Reds 11 last 12 have gone over. Nice weather and wind not a factor today. Reds tagged Peralta for 3. Milwaukee got Green for 8. Cincinnati worst bullpen in the league. Milwaukee second most runs scored.
Yeah.
All dialing up to an over from everybody in the chat. LJ from H-Town says Brewers Reds over 8, easy money. Moose Money says both these guys high volatility, could be electric or walk a room of old statues.
Yeah, I mean, I did bet the over 8 on the overnight line, and I'm still seeing 8 everywhere.
Yeah, 8.5 here at a bet 365, but lots of 8s available, definitely.
Yeah. So again, I already bet the over. I'll probably be on Milwaukee -1 before my first pitch, and leaning Milwaukee team total over as well.
All right, let's roll on.
And actually, you know what? Let me just. Okay, you can put me on Milwaukee -1. We'll make that an official play. I'm just seeing what am I seeing? I'm seeing here a Pinnacle -159. We can. Yeah, that is a steep one. Let me hold off for a second.
Okay, no problem. Okay. No problem. We move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. New York Mets 20-10, 11-5 on the road. The Washington Nationals 10-20, 3-11 at home. We're at Nationals Ballpark in D.C. Let's start with the weather here. 69 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 9.9 miles per hour diagonally in, but it completely drops off an hour in, 4.7, and then 2.7, and then starts becoming right to left as well. So the wind really not as much as a factor as the opening pitch wind would lead you to believe. There's Dabby Cab in the house. Paul Trippy, by the way, says overs 5-0-1 last 6 meetings in Cincinnati. And CT Bay says Reds 19-9-1 to the over and 9-3 at home. So we have Miguel going up against Patrick Corbin.
I think it's going to be Carrasco, though, and I'm still not seeing any line here. I'm not seeing a line at and when I checked right before the show, there was no line. Will Hill has a line with undecided. Will Hill
I have a line with unknown pitcher.
Right.
Interesting. Okay, so Miguel is out, possibly Carrasco. Thank you for sharing that. And so not a lot of line history and probably not a lot of tickets in. 1,525 tickets. So tickets are starting to come in. 94% of them, by the way, just the tickets. We don't know the money. 94% tickets on the Mets. 71% of tickets, 88% cash on the under, which is a bit of a surprise here. I guess trusting Corbin after a nice start in a 5-2 loss at the Rockies. 8 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, 3 of which were earned. No homers, 3 Ks. Mets first lefties, 271, nice average, but no power, 630 OPS. Nats first righties, 260, 704 OPS. Mets bullpen, 3.53 ERA, 1.16 whip. Nats bullpen, not horrific, but not good, 4.09 ERA, 1.38 whip. What do you think here? Viper says I'm on full game here. Carlos and Corbin both going to get smoke. So over.
Where are you guys seeing lines? I'm not even seeing. I want to take it.
At bet 365, it's -180 to the unknown pitcher on the Mets and a over 8.5 at a pick'em.
Okay. I'd be interested in taking the Mets at -1. I mean, when I looked at this game, I was, I made a joke at the beginning of the year about Pat Corbin's Cy Young odds, and I was like, I wish I could bet the no on credit on that one. Looking like a pretty nice call so far, Jimmy the Bag. I would. I have to know who the pitchers are, what the lineups are, but I'm probably going to be on the Mets here. But I'm just not seeing it. All right, so you're seeing -180. Okay, with Carrasco going.
Yes. No,
okay.
Unknown pitcher 1, it says, but Vipe is like thinking that it will be Carrasco, and Puzzler says Roto does have Carrasco as expected as of right now.
Right. I mean, I'd love to take, maybe a team total over with the Mets. Mets -1, Mets first 5, something like that. I just it's a little hard to forecast picks without odds. But yeah, I'm definitely looking for the Mets to be the play here in several ways.
All right. Well, we'll see if we can circle back here in a bit. Hunter Engelhardt says no value on any of these lines here. Let's move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Toronto Blue Jays 17-13, 7-7 on the road. The New York Yankees 20-8, 12-4 at home. This is everything I was hoping for, Pete. I was hoping that with the very difficult first 32 games, it ends here after this Yankee spot, that the Blue Jays would be not doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
Then I could come in and take them in the futures market. And I check every day. And every day I'm like, really? So the Jays are still exactly where they opened at 8-1 to win the World Series. To win the AL, they're still the favorite at plus 350. So no change there. And to win the division, they're plus 130 and they open up plus 165. So market not being fooled by the Blue Jays' struggles in this very difficult schedule to open up the season, and still no opportunity for me to bet them. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx here for game one. Let's take a look at the weather. Not far away from where Pistol Pete Loshak is right now. 64 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 13.2 miles per hour in. It dies down to 8 and 56 Fahrenheit in the final hour of the game. When we go over to the line history in the Yankees spot, we have Severino opening up at minus 150. It got up to minus 170. Then this morning, Blue Jay money came in. Went down to minus 165, minus 155. And then an hour and a half ago, back to minus 170. From a totals perspective, opened up at 7, juiced to the over. About 2 hours and 9 minutes ago, it moved to 7.5. And then 10 minutes after that, 5-cent move to the under. So it's at 7.5 at minus 115. Billy Friedrich says Yankees team total first 5 over 2.5 at plus money. Ron Crawford says MLB spreadsheet play today is the Yankees. And I have interest in the Yankees as well. Kikuchi facing these Yankees for a second straight time. He's been pretty good this year. I mean, the K to walk ratio, not where he wants it. 20 Ks, 14 walks, but he's 1-1, 4.35 ERA, 1.55 whip. Last start against these Yankees was very good. It was in Toronto, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 7 Ks, 1 walk. Luis Severino coming off a 6-4 win at the Royals, where he got touched, 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned. Homer, 4 Ks, 1 walk, 23 Ks, 7 walks. Jays numbers against righties keep dropping now. 238, 693 OPS. Yankees versus lefties, 241. I believe it's 777, but I only have 77 written there. I believe 777. Jays bullpen 4.12 ERA, 1.23 whip. Yankees bullpen being very good. So the Jays bullpen has been getting worse and worse statistically. The Jays versus righties has been getting worse and worse statistically. And Yanks bullpen being very good this year. 2.31 ERA, 1.16 whip. One final look at where the cash lies in this spot. 6,052 tickets in. 63% of the tickets, 81% of the cash on the Yankees. Just 36% of tickets, but 75% cash on the under. It's moved up a half run. Take it away here, Pete. We got the spreadsheet play today on the Yanks. Kikuch against Severino.
Yeah, I did bet the Yankees here on the overnight line. I took them -1. Kikuchi is always a bit of a mystery. Last start we got that good Kikuchi, baby. We got that good Kikuchi, but that bad Kikuchi is always around the corner. He tinkers with his pitch selection and his mechanics, and sometimes gets great results, sometimes doesn't. It's a little bit of it's a big guessing game from start to start with him. And Severino is not great, but okay. And so adding it all up in the relatively low line, I did take the Yankees -1, and I think I will make that one official. Although Kikuchi is there's some legitimate fundamentals to when he does well, and that is certainly repeatable. But yeah, all things considered, it could easily be in retrospect a big losing bet. But I took the Yankees, I bet them. And I guess I will make that official here as well. Why not? Yankees -1. I'll make that an official play, though. I'll make that an official play. It's a relatively low line. Oh, whoa! It does seem like it's heading up a little bit. -1. I'm seeing -118 at Pinnacle. I'll do a little bit of line shopping here, but yeah, I'll make the Yankees -1 an official play. The Yankees team total over on the first 5 is tempting. But, if Kikuchi does have a good start, but Severino's also pretty good and Toronto flames out again, I'd want to get, a 3-1 win as well and win like, the Yankees bet even if the first 5 team total over loses. So I can understand why someone would like the first 5 team total over, though, for sure.
I like it as well. But Millsy says, too many people on my Yankees. I hate that. Nestor Cortez had no hitter in the 8th. Christopher Carter says, with the Yanks team total here. Gas report, he is betting the -1. Again, if anybody needs the -1 calculator, if your book doesn't offer it, I will pop it in the chat right here, right now. And shout out to Ron Crawford, who got us this -1 calculator. There we go. I want in. I can understand what Dennis is saying here. I get it. He says Jays is a decent-sized dog, greater than +130, not fading it.
Yeah, I mean, the Jays, I suspect, will have good or great line value at some point in the near future, possibly this week, possibly this game. But, adding it all up, I mean, MLB is more than any other sport about weighted coin flips. My numbers like the Yankees. The spot feels like it's a good spot for the Yankees, so I'll take it. And at Heritage, -114. So I'll take Yanks -1, -114 as an official play.
And when I talked about the future market for the Jays and it not changing, even though the Rays and the Yankees are rolling, what are your expectations of Jays futures in the next few weeks to a month? Do you think there's going to be an opportunity to bet them, or?
I don't bet futures odds, but I definitely expect the Jays to do a lot better than they've been doing right now, and to have betting value game in and game out. So that probably also transfers to the futures markets as well.
Yeah, this is if you would have told me they're going to start 17-13, the Yankees will start 20-8. You're going to have and the Rays will be ahead of them too. I'll be like, oh, this is perfect. When can I bet my futures? And they're worse now than they were at the beginning of the year. So. Okay, let's move on. Pete's on the Yankees -1 and -118, and I want in on it. I think seeing Kikuchi a second straight time will help. Billy Friedrich says Gallo historically great versus Kikuchi. All right, let's move on to Boston Red Sox 10-19, 6-10 on the road at the Atlanta Braves, 14-16, 8-8 at home. Who would have thought these two teams would be struggling the way they are? Who would have thought that Red Sox versus righties would be 228, 621 OPS, and the Braves versus righties would be 226, 689 OPS? But we're at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia, and both pitchers on the mound have been very good. Dennis Garcia says the Jays' schedule eases up after Tampa on the weekend. Last chance to bet the futures will be Sunday. Yeah, for whatever reason, I always thought it was a 32-game thing, but you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And then they're going to go on a tear. So hopefully they kind of struggle here over the next little while. Okay, Garrett Whitlock, Kyle Wright. Let's talk about this spot. We'll start first with the weather in Atlanta at Truist Park. We have 82 Fahrenheit first pitch and very little wind. 2.9 down to 1.5. Left to right, slightly out. Non-issue there. Then we'll go into the line history. The line history in this spot, Boston, Atlanta. We have it opening up Boston at +115. At 10:09 this morning, they moved to 120. Very simple there. This total opened up at 7.5, -120 to the over. At times, it went down to a pick. Actually, at 11:43 a.m., it just went down to a pick 'em. And then at 11:53 a.m., it's now juiced to the under. So we have movement towards the under with Whitlock going up against Kyle Wright. Let's take a look at the cash here in this spot. Boston, Atlanta. We have 7,048 tickets in. 78% of the tickets, 86% of cash on the Braves. 47% of tickets, 55% of cash on the under. Interesting, with all that money in on the Braves, there's only been a 5-cent move towards them. Whitlock coming off a 5-inning start, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 9 Ks, no walks, and a 10-5 extra inning loss at home versus the Angels. Kyle Wright coming off 7 innings, 9 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, 1-0, and a 3-0 loss at the Mets. It's the most he's still a really good quality start, but it was not as dominant as he has been. And he has seen the Mets, I believe, 3 times over the last 5 starts. I talked about the weakness both teams have against righties. Red Sox bullpen not being good, 4.19 ERA, 1.27 whip. Braves bullpen being very good, 3.28 ERA, 1.12 whip. And the Braves bullpen didn't start out that well. They've been on fire last few weeks. Take it away here, Pete. Red Sox, Braves.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, Whitlock is legit awesome, and I am going to be betting on him when he makes appearances on first 3 innings or maybe first inning until further notice. But before we get into this game, before I get into my analysis of this game, can I call an audible to Jose Bouquet? Where is that asshole? Can Jose Bouquet drop in?
Let's bring in
that asshole. There's Jose Bouquet. You are the fucking man when it comes to baseball. I know the Red Sox are a particular area of expertise for you. What is up with this piece of shit team? Are they going to turn it around? Do they suck? What? Just give me your 20-second take on the Red Sox in general right now.
Pete, if you have children watching the show right now, I would advise you to turn the volume down for precisely like 30 seconds. Pete, they're a bunch of fucking cocksucker motherfuckers, Pete. They just can't the ball. It is baffling, Pete. And it's honestly, when you're a Red Sox fan, it shouldn't be this surprising because this is what they do. They have a good year. They win a World Series. They tank down all the way to the bottom. And then they fucking come back up again. This is a trend that happens all the time. And Pete, I'll tell you right now, I think they're fucking cooked. And I'm not saying this just because I said that about the Celtics and they somehow turned around their season with great coaching and all that good stuff, and now they're going to win an NBA championship this year. I just baffled by it, Pete. It's baffling. Bobby Dahlback, Alex Verdugo, Kike Hernandez, Jackie Bradley Jr. are all amongst the 10th worst hitters in baseball right now, like over 80 plate appearances. They have lost every start that Garrett Whitlock has started this year. And it's not because he's shit, because he's obviously the best pitcher in baseball, reliever or starter. It's because they don't have a bullpen that can back them up. They have 9 blown saves this year. That's almost double the next person's. It is shocking how bad this team is.
Right.
And the thing is that's the most surprising is that the starting pitchers have been phenomenal. All of the starting pitchers this year have been great in their own right. Dick Mountain's been fantastic this year. Garrett Whitlock's been great when he's on the mound. Nathan Eovaldi's the ace. And it's just been great. Nick Pivetta kind of sucks, but only sucks at home. On the road, he's good. So all these guys are great. It's just the offense is horrible. And I bet the first 5 under here, Pete, because I bet the first 5 under the last 3 or 4 games, I believe, and that they've all cashed. Either it's by a half run or very comfortably because they're a fucking joke, Peter. They're a joke.
I mean, look, you're right. They've got an offense that's suspect and then a shit bullpen, which is why if you're going to bet on them, you only want to bet on them early against, vulnerable pitchers, which is why I bet on them against Vince Velasquez. I lost, which is why I bet on them again against Dallas Keuchel. I lost. So maybe you shouldn't bet on them even early, even against shitty starters. What's going on here with this team, the fucking Jose?
Just keep betting the under.
That bad?
Yes, they are that bad, Pete. Right now, they are that bad. I bet the first 5 unders in both those Velasquez and Keuchel starts, knowing goddamn well that they would make those guys look like fucking aces. Absolute studs. And I knew that, of course, whoever was on the mound for the Red Sox was going to do well then, too. It was one of those days, I believe, was a Nathan Eovaldi, and I don't remember who the other one was. But it doesn't matter because all these games are the exact same thing, Peter. I was on the live stream with the Nightcap guys, I believe, and I told them live, take the White Sox plus 130. That was the Dylan C start because it's the same start every year. It's like 1-1, 0-0. We go all the way to the 7th, 8th inning, and then fucking Jake Diekman comes in, walks a bunch of dudes, gets blown up. Matt Barnes comes in, he gets fucking blown up. Cutter Crawford comes in, he gets blown up. It's just the same shit every time, again and again and again. And the only way I could take the Red Sox here is if you think Alex Cora is one of the best managers in baseball. Obviously, this lineup has a bunch of good names in it, and they've had a day where literally everyone's been shitting on them. The whole baseball universe has been saying, this fucking team sucks. They're worse than the Orioles right now. Their offense can't hit fucking dick. They're awful. And now is the time. I think they're going to get swept this series, and I think there's going to be a 7-game losing streak personally, and I think they're done. But if they're going to win the game, it's going to be right here. But Kyle Wright's good. The Braves are better, and I hate this team.
So you don't think you don't see any kind of significant turnaround from them in the upcoming weeks at all?
I have, Pete, if I wanted to tell you that, I would be just the homer motherfucker that everyone says that I am. That there's no stats, nothing on the eye test that tells you that this team is going to turn it around. They have no walks. They strike out a shitload. They have to make a trade, and no one makes trades this early. So who wants to do that? So it's just dark. It is super dark, and there's no help coming for the bullpen, which is the thing that's the most worrisome. No one's coming to help the bullpen.
Thank you very much, Jose Bouquet, you homer motherfucker. Okay, Jimmy the Bag, let's start with no run first inning, minus 130. That's current line at Will Hill. No run first inning.
And what was it? What was the line?
Minus 130. No run first inning.
Okay.
I'm also leaning, first 5 under. And I'm still leaning Boston first 3 innings plus a half, because if Whitlock comes in and throws 3 shutout innings, which I expect, that one cashes.
Usually when you give me a no-run first inning, and we found a better line for you, Moose Money did, and Roger, that says great pick. Usually when you give me a no-run first inning at Bet365, it's 20 or 30 cents worth. And it's all. It's minus 130, just like it is. And Bovada has a minus 115. I'm surprised.
Wait, Bovada has minus 115 for no run first inning?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take that one. Damn. All right.
You got it. Thank you, Moose.
Yeah, thank you, Moose.
And what's next?
I'd also be leaning, Boston first 3 plus a half at minus 160, and leaning first 5 under at 3.5 at plus 100 or whatever that line would be.
Yeah. Now these guys got great lines earlier on that first 5 under 4, minus 120. Sharpie got. Jose, what did you get when you bet that first 5 under 4?
Let's see here. Let me pull it up for you real quick. Actually, I can pull it up right here.
It would be very expensive for me right now.
Sharpie is right. The team as a whole doesn't strike out a shitload. I'm mainly thinking of Bobby Dahlbeck. I got minus 125 for the first 5 under 4. Bobby Dahlbeck is a strikeout machine, and he is going to be sent down in a month or so for Tristan Casas.
All right. Pete, did you want to add anything?
Not. You know what? All right. You know what? Actually, at Will Hill, I'm seeing first 3 innings under 2.5 at minus 150. We'll double up. You can add that one on as well.
First 3 under 2.5 at minus 150. Okay, Pete, you are locked in. We move on, and for this, a couple things are at play. First off, a very successful angle for gamblers is any team on at least a 7-game winning streak switching cities is a fade, and it's worked for us so far this year, and it's something that TJ and I like very, very much. And also, Joe Ryan is on the hill for the Minnesota Twins. Not only that, but we have a Jose Bouquet Say Hey play of the day on this very game. So let's bring Jose back into the show. Welcome back, Jose. We're at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Astros now 18-11, 9-7 on the road. Twinkies 18-11, 11-4 at home. 2 teams having nice starts to the season. We'll start with the weather at Target Field's 81 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 8.2 miles per hour, sideways a little bit but sideways mostly left to right, 8.2 miles per hour, dies down to 5.7 and then becomes just left to right. And then when we go to the line history in this spot in Houston, Minnesota, we have Verlander opening at minus 135, got up to minus 140. Just a little bit ago at 12:03 p.m. moved to minus 145. So this is all moving in the right direction for me. This total opened up at 6.5. It took money to the over and now is at 7. It's at 7 minus 115 to the under. And when we take a look at the cash for this for this Astros Twinkies spot, here we go. Where is it? We have 6,809 tickets in. 59% of the tickets, 64% just moved to 65% of the cash on the Astros. 52% tickets, 72% cash on the under, and it's gone up a half run. There's our guy Lamont Williams in the house. CT base on the Twinkies plus 120, 11-4 at home. Let's start with, and by the way, Sharpie says, I do expect a lot of Ks today for right, though 97 with movement and they don't walk. Let's start with Jose Bouquet Say Hey play of the day. Take it away.
Yeah, I'm on Minnesota. I've said it beginning of the year. I was going to fade Verlander in spots.
Made money the first start he had. Shout out to Jeff, also owing me Red Sox tickets. Never forget. And Joe Ryan had kind of, a shaky start last time out. And I'm not even saying shaky as in he was bad. Shaky in his quality, I would say. 4 and 2/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, and a walk at Baltimore. That was a bad start for Joe Ryan, who's been phenomenal this year and is the future Rookie of the Year of this baseball organization. 7 innings, 1 hit ball versus Detroit last time out at home for him. I'm very excited for this game. I think it's going to be a very exciting pitching matchup. I could easily see going first 5 under here, but I saw a lot of 3s, and I was like, that's a little too much for me. And honestly, at a 3, I would rather take the over. Both of these teams right now, 4th against righties. The Astros are 125th weighted runs created plus, and 10th the Twins are at 118. And that is of the last 2 weeks. From May, April 24th, because we're in May currently, from April 24th to now. So smaller sample size, get a better snapshot of how they're doing right now. Both teams are hitting, but I'm taking the dogs here with Joe Ryan. I think Carlos Correa, obviously facing his old team again. I think he'll get the boys going, a little juice there. Wouldn't be surprised if he has a good day. And like I said, I took Joe Ryan. I'm believing in my guy, Joe Ryan. I'm going to keep taking him until the train goes off the tracks. And hopefully everyone is joining me in this lavish car we have.
And Carlos Correa is out of the lineup. Did you take him first 5 or full game?
No, he's still out. I took him first 5.
First 5. Did you tweet it out?
Yeah, I got it at plus 115. I still believe Carlos Correa, even if he's not in the offense. I still think he will get the boys going because he is a leader. So I believe in them.
Buxton questionable.
Yep. Still believe. You can tell me all these guys are out. I just need 1 run. That's all I need.
I like it. I'd like to jump on it too. I saw the market moving towards Houston. I thought, why don't you just wait and talk it out? So I'd like to join you on this spot. I like it a lot. And, the success we've had of teams on 7-game winning streaks, switching cities. Take it away, Pistol Pete. What do you think of the Say Hey? Oh, by the way, Say Hey Play of the Day record is what?
Ugh.
Uh-oh.
It's fucking sickening now. Makes me want to throw up. I wanted to throw myself off a building these last 3 days. I'm 123 and 106. Fucking up 19 units. What a disrespectful performance it's been for me. Pete, I think at the end of the show, I might need you to smack me around. I think I need an inspirational fucking talk.
Okay, we can do that at the end of the show. Sure.
And Pete probably doesn't even know that the next fucking week and on Tuesday, I'm going to be hosting the show, and I'll be hosting the show with him. He probably doesn't even know this. So I need a lot of inspiration from you, Pete.
Yeah.
I need everything.
What do you want me to? You want me to smack you? You want me to start right now?
Yeah,
You're an asshole.
Okay,
Take a look in the mirror, jerk off. That's what a jerk off looks like. That's you, asshole. You gonna do something about it? Change your life, fuckface.
Okay.
It's not gonna happen on its own. You have to do it.
You're right. You know what?
Asshole.
I'm gonna do it now.
That was all right.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good. Off the cuff. No preparation.
He's actually coming back for another game later, so I'd like to get right back into it here shortly. Okay.
De Niro, I also need a pep talk. Hey, De Niro, asshole, start living the right way. You know what to do, jerk off, fuckface. Do it. Pretty good.
Pete, pretty good. Very good. Pete, Billy said that's a different motivational Pete. Astros, Twinkies, Pistol Pete, Lodell's Loshak. Are you moving on it?
I will admit that on the overnight line, I did bet no run in the first inning on this one, but I'm going to hold off as of right now. Definitely leaning Minnesota, although the injuries. I think that the line movement that you've seen, Jimmy, is probably because of the injuries. I think Buxton is probably going to be out.
Yeah. So then, would you say the best move for us, even if we're still going to move on the Twins, like Jose, is to wait? Wait for the announcement of Correa and wait for people to see it. Bet the Astros.
I wouldn't listen to anything Jose tells you to do right now, but no, I'm kidding. Yeah, I think that's correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that is what I will do. Okay. Say Hey Play today is in. First 5 at plus 115. We move on to the Baltimore Orioles. 12-17, 3-10 on the road at St. Louis Cardinals, 16-12, 7-5-0. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. See what we are dealing with here with the weather in St. Louis. 88 Fahrenheit at first pitch. Gorgeous. 10.8 miles per hour right to left. Out to the left field pole, but barely. No, right to left is the main look there. And it drops down to 7.2 miles per hour by the third hour or 2 hours into the game. Let's move on to the line history in Orioles-Cardinals. Orioles-Cardinals. We have it opening up at it just opened up. It just opened up less than 2 hours ago with the Cardinals at minus 155. I remember when it did open up. I should have remembered that. And then the total sitting at 8 at a pick'em. When we look over at the cash in this spot, just 1,828 tickets in, and 97% of tickets are on the Cardinals. We don't know the money yet as it just opened up. 55% tickets, 68% cash on the under. Lucas Ryan says it's a gorgeous day, Jim. Going to get a little hot. I love hearing that. Billy Friedrich says Roto has Wainwright listed. And Danny Lopez says Pete just changed my life for the better.
Oh, great. That's how it makes me happy to hear. That makes me happy to hear. Is there a fucking line for this game yet, Jim? What's going on here?
Yes, we have minus 135 plus 135 for the O's, minus 155 for the St. Louis Cardinals with unknown pitcher at this point. This total at 8 as a pick'em, and that's where we stand. This Cards team hitting just 231, 644 OPS versus righty. Both bullpens have been good, and the Orioles bullpen's been quite good of late. Kyle Bradish, though, on the bump. Last start, 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, 2 walks, and 9-4 win at home versus the Twinkies. He's thrown 10 innings this year with just 5 Ks, 3 walks, and 2 home runs allowed, 1.40 with 5.40 ERA. Take it away here. LJ from H-Town says fade the Orioles on the road, 3-10. What do you think here? Do you want to wait till there's a confirmation on the Cards pitcher?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely high on St. Louis in general, game by game and week by week. This guy Bradish is tough, though, because he has, obviously huge potential, great numbers in the minors. His 2 appearances so far have not been good overall, but it's like, he's had great innings and then, a crappy inning here and there. So he's a young guy who's, growing into his potential. So I don't like to bet against that. But I do think Baltimore's overachieved a little bit. Wainwright, I've talked about this off camera with Jose Bouquet, that homer motherfucker. Wainwright is a guy who he's just extremely reliable. So if there's a situation where, I'm looking to bet against a certain team and he's starting, it's very reassuring to have him starting. So I'd like to see what the line is. If it's minus 160 or so, I'll probably be on Baltimore here. I'm sorry, on St. Louis here. But definitely full game, not first 5. Don't relish betting against Bradish, but with Wainwright starting, St. Louis at home, I would probably take that even at minus 160. But, this is a classic game where I probably won't have my bet down until everything's confirmed, an hour before first pitch.
All righty. Well, then let's keep rolling. Next up for us, 8:05 p.m. Eastern, the Kansas City Royals, 9-17, 3-8 on the road at Texas Rangers, 11-16, 4-9 at home. We're at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. We have Helen Brad Keller on the bump, Pete. Helen Brad Keller has looked good this year. She's looked good this year. Helen Brad Keller, 1-2 with a 1.74 ERA, 0.84 whip, 31 innings, 19 Ks, 8 walks, 2 home runs allowed. Last start, 6 1/3, 4 hits, no runs. 2 Ks, 3 walks, and a 7-1 win at home versus the Cards. That's Helen Brad Keller. Going up against Martin Perez, who has been nothing short of spectacular this year. Wow. Martin Perez just doing it right like a Biggie song. 0-2, 2.25 ERA, 1.04 whip, 28 innings, 20 Ks, 9 walks. Last start, 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 4 Ks, 4 walks, and a 2-1 extra inning victory at the Phillies. The Royals aren't hitting lefties, 234, 622 OPS. The Rangers are hitting righties, 208, 573 OPS. Royals bullpen's being awful, 4.60 ERA, 1.44 whip. Rangers bullpen, 3.53 ERA, 1.25 whip. So let's start with the line history here In Texas, we have Keller Perez. We have a 10-cent move towards the Royals. They opened up as plus 125 dogs. They moved to plus 115. And this total opened up at 8, juice to the over. It's now 8 at a pick'em. So not a lot going on there. Take it away, Pistol Pete. Is this a first 5 under bet?
Where's that asshole Jose Bouquet? Get that asshole Jose Bouquet in here for a sec. Jose Bouquet, you around? You around? Martin Perez, he's a Venezuelan, isn't he?
Yeah, the one Venezuelan been fading, and he's been shoving it up my ass again.
Yeah, sorry that I keep bringing you in here, but you're a fucking expert on a lot of this shit. His last 3 starts have been awesome. If you change the name from Perez to something else, you'd be like, oh my god, minus 300, he's going to be awesome forever. You think Perez is going to continue for him?
Well, Pete, I have faded him unsuccessfully almost every start of his, except for like a couple, like 2 maybe, and it's obviously not gone my way. I bet him against Justin Verlander in the Astros first 5, or bet against him, I should say, and he threw a perfect game through 5.
Yeah.
So I'm done personally fading Martin Perez. I don't know how long this is going to last, Pete. I think this is along the lines of Jose Quintana right now, who also is a guy, if you covered up his name and looked at his last couple of starts, you'd be like, oh, this is Clayton Kershaw. He's been phenomenal, and it's been shocking to see. And, Pete, I've heard you say this. I think it's going to continue until he gets hurt or something happens, I think he keeps it going. I'm on the first 5 under here. Brad Keller is the best pitcher on the Royals. And, if Martin Perez just keeps doing it in his friendly confines, then I'm okay. If it was at a 3.5, I think I would have a little more pause. Like I took a full game under with Detroit and Oakland, I believe, yesterday. I forgot who it was exactly now, but it was Michael Pineda, someone else on their side. And it was a 3.5 first 5, and it's not like they were aces, and it was kind of weird. Like, these guys aren't aces. Why would we take 3.5 here? But it ended up going like 2-0. Not really much of a sweat, and the full game cash, no problem too. So I think it's more of a fate of the offenses here as well.
Right.
27th last 2 weeks, lefties against righties, I should say, are the Rangers, sorry. And 17th are the Royals. 97 weighted runs created plus last 2 weeks against lefties are the Royals. So, I mean, yeah, I took the first 5 under 4 here. I was pretty surprised I got even money on it last night. That gave me a little concern. Like, why are the books making it so easy to bet? But I bet it.
Thank you very much, asshole.
No
the reason I ask is because my numbers for this game have extremely low confidence numbers, and they're all saying stay off. Keller not lights out, but he gets results, and he has a very effective slider, which starting pitches with effective sliders again until they get injured. That usually continues, and Keller does not have big strikeout numbers, but his slider is very effective, and Perez numbers are just like all over the place in terms of forecasting, and maybe other people's numbers are more accurate. So yeah, I certainly can understand a first 5 under. That might be really Jose Bouquet, man. First 5 under might be a good play here.
The line that Jose got much worse than what's available now, though, which is strange. So it's 4.5 minus 120 at my book. The 4 is plus 111 here, and this is a book that always gives you the worst odds.
My numbers were saying to take a shot with KC first 5 or first 3, but there's also extremely low confidence on that, which is why I wanted to hear Jose's breakdown. And yeah, I mean, I joke, I call him an ass, I call him a fuckface, but I respect his opinion. The way I ask him is a joke, but the fact that I'm asking his opinion is not a joke. It's very serious. Shout out to Jose Bouquet. All right, and we can see in the comments section here, why there's uncertainty on this game. TJ says Texas top play of the day. Wow.
And also, just to add one more thing, because I didn't get into it, from a ticket standpoint, you have 29% of the tickets on the Royals and 57% of the cash. So there's a lot of money that's come in, and big bets have come in on the Royals. And then
My numbers say there's
40
value on the Royals, but
41%,
very low confidence.
41% of tickets on the over and 90% of cash on the over.
Yeah. All right. It's going to be a pass for me, but I probably will sneak in a bet on KC before first pitch. We'll see.
And you guys are getting the first half under 4 on DraftKings plus 100. It's plus 111 if I build it. It's for the 4.5 at under the under 4.5 at minus 120. Well, that's going to take me off of this bet. So I had planned to move on the first 5 under. I'm no longer going to do that. I will cheer Jose on. But let's just get one last look at just how gorgeous she is, because she's really a looker. Go get it today, Brad. Go get it. All right, let's move on here. Next game on the board is 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland. TJ says bets coming on the Royals, and what is the line doing? The line is moving. It's moved 10 cents towards the Royals. Opened up at plus 125. Went to 128.59 last night, and then went to 115 at 10:24 last night, and then hasn't moved. You're right. There's been no movement since 10:24 last night. And I've got completely different numbers than that, CT base. Our numbers couldn't be more different than the tickets and all that stuff here. Oh, I guess you're right. What am I talking about? You're saying 71% of tickets on the. Sorry, I was doing the math wrong. Sorry, of course, yeah, 71% of tickets. Yeah, my bad, CT. Your money. Okay, let's keep rolling. Next up, Cleveland Guardians 15-14, 8-9 on the road at Chicago White Sox 14-14, 7-7 at home. We're guaranteed rate field in Chicago, Illinois. Let's start with the weather in Chirac. Where is the Chi-Town weather? What the hell's going on? Why are they? Oh, here we go. First pitch, 86 Fahrenheit, 11.1 miles per hour, right to left, slightly in. Becomes a little bit more in as the game goes on. But it does, you know what? Actually, I take that back. Within an hour and a half of the starting first pitch, it is coming in. It is coming in, but down about 9.4 and then 10.8 miles per hour. Then we're going to go to the line history in the White Sox spot. We have it opening up here at plus 165. There was a slight move towards the White Sox. That was in the Guardians. The White Sox went from minus 185 to minus 192. They're back at minus 185. From a total perspective, it opened up at 7.5, heavily juiced to the under, and now it's 8 at a pick'em. So it was minus 125 to the under when it opened here. Then we'll take a look at where the money is with the White Sox and Giolito. 4,791 tickets in. 64% of the tickets, 82% of the cash on the White Sox, and no movement. 73% of tickets, 95% cash on the over, and we've seen movement there. So let's roll. Michael Spivak saying only 3 NHL playoff games have ended by a 1-goal deficit. Wow, that's wild. Yeah, there's been a lot more scoring than what was expected in the playoffs. You're right, Michael. Okay, but back here to guaranteed rate field. Cal Quantrill going up against Lucas Giolito. Quantrill 1-1, 3.54 ERA, 1.2 on WHIP, 17 Ks, 15 walks. Not the K to walk ratio he wants, but he doesn't strike out a lot of batters. His last start was a 6.5 extra inning win at home versus the Padres. He went 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 7 Ks, 5 walks. Giolito coming off a 4-3 win at the Cubs. He went 5 2/3, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 homers, 10 Ks, 2 walks, 3.20 ERA, 1.17 WHIP. Guardians lead the league versus righties, 275, 772 OPS. White Sox can't hit them, 213, 597 OPS. And both bullpens have been good, especially the Guardians bullpen. Take it away here, Pete. Guardians, White Sox.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a tough one. Giolito is good, but he clearly, is a user and beneficiary of sticky stuff, and clearly looks for whatever replacements he can find, and probably is finding something that's okay. The Guardians are not a team you want to fade as a big dog. I think we've talked about this in previous shows, or maybe that was Arizona. I forgot who we were talking about. But, to start the season, people were talking about how the Guardians would have, one of the worst offenses in baseball and this and that. And, of course, you remember they put up some huge offensive numbers when all the rest of the league was having trouble scoring. And they continue to do that. They're not a juggernaut team, but they're definitely a team I feel very, very nervous about fading as a big dog. My numbers say that they have value here as a dog, decent value actually. But after last night's win, I don't, just my gut feeling, my audible, my experience tells me to be a little bit careful about that. And the numbers also like over a little bit as well. So the numbers like Cleveland, the numbers like over, but I'm not going to bet on either of those. And I have no play on this one right now. But I can tell you what the numbers say that I use. Numbers like over and the numbers like Cleveland.
All right. Well, let's move on to 9:38 p.m. Eastern. This is a move I probably should have already made. I did mention that they have full line value here, and that's the Tampa Bay Rays going up against Detmers with Kluber on the bump.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, we have 62% of the tickets, 67% of cash on Tampa, 58% of tickets, 62% of cash on the over. Let's see if that follows suit here with the line movement. Let's move over here. We have the line movement here. We have opening up at minus 105, got all the way up to minus 125. Got all the way up to minus 125 at 9:50 a.m. It's come back 5 cents. So they're minus 120 right now from minus 105 opener. That all makes sense. And there's total juice to the over at minus 120. So pretty simple here. The weather, though, not warm in LA. It's warm on the east, cold on the west, 65 Fahrenheit. Wind is 11.5 miles per hour out to right field, dies down to 6.9 by the end of the game. Kluber has looked good, and the Rays are playing good ball. 18-12, 9-5 on the road against the Angels, 20-11, 11-6 at home. Kluber, 2.36 ERA, 1.05 whip. Kind of bumpy start to the year, but he's rolling right now. 26 2/3, 25 K, 6 walks, just 2 home runs allowed. Coming off a 3-0 win at the A's, a very light-hitting A's. Angels versus righties are not light-hitting, 236, 737 OPS. I mean, they're not ripping the leather off the ball, but hit much better. Last start was a nice 6-inning performance. No earned runs, 7 Ks, 1 walk. Reed Detmers on the other side, 18 Ks, 7 walks, and 22 innings. The youngster went 4 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 Ks, 2 walks, and 10-5 extra inning win at the Red Sox. The Rays are hitting lefties hard, 262, 745 OPS, and both bullpens have been very good, especially the Angels bullpen of late. TJ says 100% agree with Tampa Bay value. Got it minus 110. Detmers should get hit. And Michael Spivak says Kluber dominates both Trout and Ohtani. Take it away here. Oh, and also a little look from our guy, Lee Davis, whom I love, says, once upon a time, the Rangers' first game back at home after a road trip was a solid fade. Then back in them, the second game was also decent. Called it the Texas two-step. And it's time to hear what Pistol Pete has to say about this spot. Rays Angels. Take it away.
Yeah, I don't love fading the Angels, but I did take Tampa Bay on the overnight line. I took the team total over a lot better. I got 4 at minus 120, and right now it's up to 4.5 at plus money. I think I might root around here and try to find some 4 and make that an official play. And I also took the first 3 innings line and the first 5 innings line small on Tampa Bay as well. I don't love fading the Angels, and Detmer has a lot of potential, and at some point will probably be a pitcher that you don't want to bet against. But in this, the Rays are also a team I love to have a reason to bet on. Kluber's last 2 starts were fine. Before that, he was a little shakier. I'm not particularly high on Kluber. I'm also not particularly down on him at this point. So a pitcher like that, I don't really like to be betting against when he's facing a team that I don't want to bet against, like the Angels. But in this spot, my numbers indicated that Tampa Bay has a little bit of value. So I took the team total over, and I took them first 3 and first 5 small as well. Maybe I'll search around here for a team total and try to find a 4 instead of, if it's a decent number, instead of taking 4.5 at plus money. But I like Tampa Bay here, and I agree with the people saying they like. I'm seeing minus 125 at Will Hill. We'll go with that. A little bit safe. Probably more value taking a 4.5 at plus money, but we'll take over 4 minus 125. Tampa Bay team total over 4 minus 125, and I do also like them first 3 or first 5.
All right, I'm going to move on the Rays full game as well. I'm going to move, but Hunter Engelhardt says can't fade this Angels team at home right now. I
don't like it. I don't like doing that for sure.
TJ says Tampa Bay with the better numbers versus left-handed pitching. Better on the road. Ward dealing with an injury. Detmers has gone more than 5. Hasn't gone more than 5, so we get to the pen early.
Yeah, I would love to bet. I mean, I did bet Tampa Bay already. I would love to give an official play on Tampa Bay one way or another. First 5 full game, first 3 or something like that. As of right now, I guess I'll just stick with the team total.
Let's move on. 9:40 p.m. Eastern is next up. Chicago Cubs 10-18, 6-7 on the road at San Diego Padres 19-11, 9-6 at home at Petco Park in San Diego, California, the city that will be celebrating Sharpie's birthday this evening. 63 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 12.7 miles per hour in, dies down to just 10.2. So Not a very good weather for offense. Wade Miley making his season debut. What a Jekyll and Hyde pitcher Wade Miley is, going up against Mike Clevenger, who just had his first start of the year after missing all of last season, recovering from Tommy John surgery. He went 4 2/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, 4 Ks, 3 walks, and 5-4 win at Cleveland. Cubs versus righties, just 235, 666 OPS. That number dropping. Padres versus lefties, 222, 709 OPS. That number dropping. Both are dropping at this point. Cubs bullpen being good this year, 3.45 ERA, 1.21 WHIP. Padres bullpen's been bad, 4.35 ERA, 1.17 WHIP. We'll start with the line history and then see where the cash is, and then hand it over to Pistol Pete Loshak. Where the hell is it? Here we go. Miley, Clevenger. We have the Padres opening up at -150. They're now -160. 10-cent move towards them. This total has not moved from a 7.5 at -120 to the under. And when we take a look at the cash flow in this Padres spot, just 2,547 tickets in, and it's all Padre money. 90% of the tickets, 93% of cash, but the line not moving very much. 67% of tickets, 63% cash on the under. Take it away here, Pete. Padres and Wade Miley season debut.
Okay, yeah, I will say one thing, that my first of all, my rating of the San Diego bullpen is not that bad. I have them slightly below average, but not quite as severe of a negative word as you used to describe them. I forgot what it was. Bad. I wouldn't say bad, according to my numbers, which could be wrong, but I have them slightly below average. And the Cubs, yes, excellent pen. My numbers like San Diego and the under. Where'd you say the money's headed, Jim?
At this point, we have all of the tickets and money on San Diego. 90% of the money line tickets, 93% of cash, but also the under. 67% tickets, 63% of cash. But all of the money on San Diego, we've seen very, very little market or line movement. We've seen them go from -150 to -160. At least there's some.
Right. If I were blindly betting my numbers, I would have bet San Diego and the under, but I don't do that. And I think that's probably a good example of why. I'm probably seeing the same things that have made those people bet those bets, and the market hasn't moved, as you said, Jimmy the Bag, for a reason. I don't know if I'm going to bet this one. I'm going to do a little bit more research maybe into what to expect from Miley. Clevenger first start wasn't awful, wasn't good. Leaning my numbers like San Diego and the under more. So if you gave me a free play on this game right now, I would take the under at 7. And I might be on that by first pitch. As of right now, I will not give that officially.
And it was left elbow inflammation that created this wait for his season debut. Left elbow inflammation. And
I do like the under, though. I probably will have a bet on the under by first pitch, but just want to say that.
On May 7th, 3 days ago, he was going to throw a bullpen. So his last start was May 3rd, and he threw 4 shutout innings, 2 hits, 0 walks, 3 Ks at AAA. And now he's back. He's always been a tricky pitcher for me to figure out, because the eye test does not work with Miley. Those soft tossing lefties, they look so hittable, but and the Padres were smashing lefties to start the year. I can understand the trepidation. Let's move on to 940.
You could have a reality show with Martin Perez and be like major league pitchers who get good results, who don't pass the eye test.
Yeah,
similar.
He's been a problem for him. They both have. Let's move on to 9:40 p.m. Eastern. We have Jesus Luzardo going up against a Mad Bum, and we have the second Say Hey play of the day right here, right now. So please welcome back Jose Bouquet back in action. Jose, Marlins, Diamondbacks, and Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. First off, the roof status. Did you already look at this?
No, but I assume it's closed, so it does not affect me that much.
Diamondbacks roof status here. We'll find out. They're the one roof or team that always lets us know what the status is. And May 10th, it is open. We have it open tonight and open tomorrow. So open tomorrow at 12:40 p.m. So let's take a look at the weather then in Arizona. 87 Fahrenheit, 11 miles per hour, right to left. right across the diamond, and it dies off to 5.9, down 8.1, then 5.9. So whether or not a major issue there, but it does help the offense a little bit that it's open. Let's take a look at the line history here in Arizona. Luzardo, Bumgarner, opening up at minus 135 for Miami. They've been going, it's just up to minus 145, down to minus 130. They're back at minus 140. So it's been a 5-cent move towards them. And then from a total perspective, it opened at 8, minus 115 to the over. There's been a 5-cent move to the over. When we go over to the cash flow in this spot, we have 5,964 tickets in, and it's a coin flip. 48% of tickets, 52% of cash on Miami, but 66% of tickets, 63% of the cash on the under, and yet it's gone up slightly, 5 cents to the over. Luzardo coming off a 2-1 loss at the Padres. He went 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 homers, both solo shots, 7 Ks, 3 walks in that loss. He's had a great year so far, 3.08 ERA, 1.06 whip, and 35 strikeouts in 26 and 30s. Looked very good. Mad Bum left in the first inning. We were live for it, and I lost on that first 5 under after he left, and he was very angry. I watched some clips afterwards. He was just, God, he's just so jacked up. He's just so emotional right now. He's had a great start to the year, 1.50 ERA, 1.13 whip in 24 innings, but 15 Ks, 11 walks, not the K-walk ratio he wants. Neither team hits lefties at all. Marlins, 212, 639 OPS. Diamondbacks, 190, 575 OPS. Marlins bullpen's been very good, and the Diamondbacks bullpen has been awful. Take it away here, Jose Bouquet. Oh, 1 hole. Play of the day, number 2. What's your move?
I'm on the first 5 under here, and I'd like to start off with this. I bet it last night. I got a 4 minus 110. And then I woke up this morning, and I talked to the lovely group chat that I'm in that are my man Steen, as his friends call him Jimmy. His friends call him Steen, obviously. Added me in there. And everyone was talking about this first 5 under, and I was like, I love it too. I don't know why it's at 4.5, blah, 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 blah. So I bet it again at 4.5, forgetting that I bet it the first time. So I accidentally doubled up on the same play here, and I've got to be confident on it to do that. Obviously, I unconsciously bet it 2 separate times. I got a 4 minus 110 for the first 5 under, and I got a 4.5 at minus, let me tell you, in a bit. But while this is loading, I'll tell you, obviously, you guys know that I've been on Jesus Luzardo throughout the year. Faded him, or I was on him once unsuccessfully with his St. Louis start, but came back to him. 1 earned run against Atlanta, 1 earned run against Seattle, 2 earned runs against San Diego. Pretty confident in betting him here. And Madison on the other side, I think he pitches well today. I think coming off of the incident with the umpire, I think he'll come out and have a nice start. Both of these teams are very, I wouldn't say, I guess they're not poor. The Miami Marlins are poor against lefties. They're 16th, 105 weighted runs created plus. But the last, 10 games, I believe they're at now. Last 10 games are 2-8, slumping a bit. The Diamondbacks are surging. I think they are, I believe, 8-2 exactly. Yeah, they're 8-2. So obviously both these teams have flipped a little bit. So I took the first 5 under here, and the Diamondbacks 25th against lefties at a 76 weighted runs created plus. So took the first 5 under here, and I got the 4.5 today, this morning at a minus 120. So 4 minus 110, 4.5 minus 120.
What did you tweet out?
I tweeted out the 4. I did not tweet out the 4.5 yet, but I will eventually at the end of the show probably. Or I don't know if I even should, since I fucked up and bet it twice. But yeah, I took the 4. Either one you get me is fine. But I tweeted out the 4.
I'll have to do the one that you tweeted out. That's just the way we do things here. But
that's fine. I hope both hit.
Well, stick around for this, because this is a fascinating game with these two. Pete, these two lefties on the mound having such strong years, these two teams that can't hit lefties, why would they give us the 4.5 minus 120? It's hanging in my book. Why would that be offered to us, do you think?
You mean because it seems too high?
Yes.
Well, yeah. My number, I hope my numbers, I think, are wrong, and there's low confidence associated with them on the total, not on the side. I'll talk about that in a second. But my numbers actually like the over on this one. The roof is open, which is a factor. The Arizona Bull. Yeah, right. So it's the first 5. Yeah, I hope you cash it. I'm on Miami here, and I will make that one an official play. My numbers also like the Miami team total over as well. Full game, not first 5. The first 5, my numbers are a little down on Lazard, on Bumgarner and Luzardo in terms of that they've in terms of projecting what they're likely to do going forward relative to what they've done so far, which is not to say that my numbers are gospel or even correct. I'm just telling you what they say. I don't know, and there's low confidence related to it. It's going to be I'm not going to touch the total, and I sincerely hope the first 5 cashes, and I can certainly understand the argument for it.
Is there anything you want to make official here on the show, Pete?
Miami -1, -102. My numbers like Miami quite a bit here. I agree that, it's up in the air what we get from Bumgarner. The ejection from last game is obviously a huge factor, and he'll probably come back here and have a better than normal start. Luzardo is still good. My numbers expect him to be a little bit worse going forward than what he's done, but that could change. And also they expect him to be quite good going forward. And as you said, the bullpens are a significant advantage to Miami. Miami -1, -102 is going to be an official play for me, Jim. And I will be rooting hard for the first 5 under to cash.
Yes. Well, I'm going to have to stay off it. This is it makes me just it's very uncomfortable when they offer it to us like this. We have almost no sample size against Luzardo, but he has been hit in the tiny sample size. And then against Bumgarner, same thing. I mean, they've hit him, but a legit sample size. But I mean, Cooper Carrott's 0 for 10 against them, and Jorge Soler's 0 for 7 against them.
My numbers also like the Miami team total over as well. Expecting regression from Bumgarner, but again, it's like, first of all, he's a crafty veteran. Second of all, coming off the crazy 1-inning thing, so that throws a monkey wrench in the whole thing as well.
I am going to stay off the spot. Michael Spivak saying Dom Smith crushes Corbin. Look at his bases, and J.D. Davis 4 homers versus Corbin. Thank you, Michael. Jose, is this still? Oh, you've already doubled up on it, I guess. Does this give you any concern, or are you just trusting the capping?
I am trusting the capping. However, as I told you before, I have been hitting a rocky spot. My capping has not been the best recently. And I think the thing that makes me feel most confident about this is that I guess I capped it 2 separate times, and I came to the same conclusion both times. So I'm hoping that I was right here. And I said this privately, Jim, but I'll say this publicly. If I have another losing night tonight, it's going to solidify my cold streak, and I might have to do some rituals. I don't know, sacrifice a chicken. I don't know what I'll have to do to get back into the winning ways here. But it's going to have to happen.
Chicken. That's some Santeria shit. You into Santeria?
Yeah, that's what we have to do with the baseball gods, Pete. That's what we have to do. I'll go to New Orleans, get some voodoo. I've got some Venezuelan voodoo in my blood tubes.
I think
I'll do a Santeria ritual or two if you want. I do it with you, bro.
I think you should do the old tampon dipped in vodka routine.
That is also, yes, part of Santeria as well.
Yeah.
A little known part of it, the butthole section of it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, Jose, this is you're 2 under 4.5s. We're both ones I was very interested in, and now I'm going to be even more interested as I'm not going to be on them and be living vicariously through you. That is the under 4.5 in. Which one? Which was the one at minus?
I had the 4. The 4.5 was the -120. The 4 was -110, and that's the one.
There was another. Isn't there another 4? Was it the Red Sox? There was another one that.
I had the first 5 under 4 Red Sox Braves -125.
Okay. I think maybe that was it. But a very exciting look. I thought I was going to be on it with you. Billy Friedrich liking those looks. Zoe Life saying, what about the runs in the first inning?
Balls.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay. I mean, if you look at these lines, okay, I'm just going to stay off. Say hey, play of the day. First 5 under 4 -110. Pete's on the Marlins -1 at -102. Jose, your record is still spectacular. So, if you need to cut down a quantity of action just for a little bit, that's all you need to do. But don't question anything. You're killing it. Who's your special guest on today's show?
I said the same thing about my quantity, Jim, and I have 7 plays on the card today. So we're going in today, Jim. All or nothing today. We're rolling. We're riding. I've got my guy Dabby Cab on the show today. On little preparation because remember Sunday going to be live and in person with Dabby Cab at Casa de Cab. We'll be going to Red Sox Rangers. So definitely, if you're in the DFW area, come by, say hello to Cab and I. We've already got some people swinging by and saying hello, so it'll be a good time. And don't forget about tomorrow too, because tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, can you pop up the thumbnail for us? So I am going on vacation. I'll be gone tomorrow morning. Betting with Bouquet will be up. So Wednesday we have Connor Mack for MLB. So C-Mac will be here on Wednesday. Then Thursday, the big Ragu for MLB. And Friday's MLB will be Babano. Gokster for NHL Wednesday and Thursday. Babano on Friday. And Durrell on Wednesday and Friday. And Dutch on Thursday for NBA. So also there will
Dutch is going to hate me.
There will be no Say Hey show while I'm gone. All of the MLB breakdowns will be right here on Betting with Bouquet. That's correct?
Yes. Yeah. I don't find the value in going live and saying the same things a couple hours later with just more confirmations, truthfully. And Moose Money did give me a good point to do it. He said I could raise the Say Hey counter like that. That could be bump, make a little doubleheader action. But no, I'm an honest and true soul, and I'll stick with it. But now I'm very excited to break down basketball with Dutch because he might spit in my face through the camera. Who knows? I can't wait.
Well, he's been very successful, so don't get in the way of his glory, Jose.
I'll try not to.
There he is, Jose Bouquet in the house. There's T-Mac ready to get to work. Says huge freaking card today. Respect my man. Okay, so let's move on then. Next up, 9:40 p.m. Eastern. We just have 2 games left before we go into NBA. And apologies to NBA. I meant to get there a little quicker. So thank you. Wham Bam for your patience. Philadelphia Phillies 13-16, 4-7 on the road. Seattle Mariners 13-17, 8-6 at home. We're at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Has it warmed up enough on the West Coast for them to open the roof in Seattle? Let's see. It's going to be closed. That's cold tonight. Very cold tonight. Aaron Nola going up against Robbie Ray. Nola 1-3, 3.3 ERA, 0.87 WHIP. Great start to the year. 41 Ks, 6 walks. Has allowed 6 homers, but 34 2/3 innings. Coming off 8-7 loss at home versus the Mets. It was heartbreaking for anyone who backed the Phillies. He went 7 strong, 3 hits, 1 run, 7 Ks, 1 walk, but bullpen fell apart. Robbie Ray coming off 4-3 loss at home versus the Rays. He has not had a very good start to the year, and Gausman could be our Cy Young winner in the AL. And, we were right about who they should have signed in the offseason, and that feels so good. Now it's very small sample size. Maybe Ray has another great year. 2-3, 4.3 ERA, 1.24 WHIP. Phillies versus lefties, 252, 725 OPS. And then Mariners versus righties, just 236, 699 OPS. Phillies bullpen not to be trusted. Mariners bullpen not that good either. Take it away. Oh, sorry. Let me just do quickly the line history here in the Mariners spot. We have it opening up with Philly at -110. They've gone all the way to -130. Now, it did go up to -135. It's come back 5 cents. And then from a totals look, opened up at 7, juice to the under. It's been a 5-cent move to the over. And when we take a look at the cash in this game, we have 5,573 tickets in. 60% of tickets, 70% of cash on the Phillies. 34% of tickets, 67% of cash on the under. Take it away, Pistol Pete. We're in Seattle, T-Mobile, Phillies, Mariners.
Okay, well, I don't love taking the Phillies, especially after that kind of a win. But my numbers really like the Phillies here. First 5, not full game. Nola is pretty reliable. Ray, I'm kind of down on him. Seattle, I'm not down on him. I'm not down on them in general. I actually expected they might be a significantly valuable team to bet on in upcoming months. I think it's possible, depending on how the market reacts, they might be one of the more, top 10 or top 5 most profitable teams in baseball, top 3 in some month coming up. I think that they've, not that they're going to be one of the better teams in baseball, but that they have definitely that they're losing recently is a mirage, and I expect positive regression from them, both in terms of hitting and the betting markets, but not in this spot. And, it makes me very nervous. The line is so low at Pinnacle, but I'll pull the trigger on it. Philly first half -121. Philly first half -121. I'll take it. The numbers like that a lot. The fact that it's so low at Pinnacle makes me nervous. The fact that I don't really trust Philly in general as a favorite makes me nervous. The fact that they won 9-0 yesterday makes me nervous, but I'll take it. First half -121, Philly.
I like it. It makes sense to me. I don't think I'm going to get that line. I'd like just to see what I would be offered here from.
And my numbers also like the Philly first 5 team total over as well, which is like, -1.5 at -130.
I like it. I think Nola continues pitching well. I'm going to roll with that as well. So I'm going to put some just quick asterisks there for me. Okay, let's keep rolling, Pete. Last game on the card, and we're going to NBA right after this. But the last game on the card brings us to sweet, sweet, sweet Taint. Taint is the Colorado San Francisco Giants over 7.5 at -105. Senzatella going up against Alex Wood. These Rockies 5-8 on the road this year, but 16-13 overall. Going up against the Giants 17-12, 9-7 at home. We are in Oracle for this one. 49 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 17.5 miles out to right center, but it dies down to 8.1 by the end of the game. And you know how it swirls out there. So it's not as big of a deal as it may come up on the paper. It's not as big of a deal. Let's take a look at the market movement here. We have these Giants opening up -192 at 8:30. They moved to 8:30 this morning. Moved to -200 at 9:31. They moved to -210. From a totals look, they open up at 7, and it's moved to 7.5 at -105 at 8:30 this morning. 7.5 at 8:30 this morning. Let's move over to the cash flow here in the Giants game. We have 6,241 tickets in. 81% of the tickets, but just 57% of the cash. Interesting on the Giants. So some big bets have come in on the Rockies. And then for 74% of tickets, 65% cash on the over. So that's where we stand here with Rockies, Giants. Senzatella, 3.75 ERA, 1.88 whip, 24 innings, just 7 strikeouts. So he's led a ton of hits because he's got a 1.88 whip. He's only walked 5 batters. Somehow he's kept that ERA down to 3.75. Last start, 4 1/3, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, 1 homer, 1 K, 2 walks, and 9-7 win at home over the Nets. Alex Wood, 4.38 ERA, 1.30 whip, 26 Ks and 24 2/3. His strikeouts are up, and his K to walk ratio is good, but other than that, his numbers aren't great. Last start, 5 1/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 7 Ks, 2 walks, 9-1 loss at the Dodgers. The Rockies rake lefties, 313, 821 OPS, and the Giants don't have much power against righties, 248, 705 OPS. Then we have Rockies bullpen, worst in the league, 4.94 ERA, 1.52 whip. And the Giants bullpen starting to scuffle a little bit, 3.53 ERA, 1.26 whip. Take it away, Pistol Pete, Rockies, Giants.
Yeah, I see that Dennis Garcia likes Colorado money line. My numbers would agree with that, but it makes me nervous. I didn't pull the trigger on it. I did actually bet the over on the overnight line. I got 7 -118. Nice. The numbers liked it so much that I did bet it. Senzatella, I agree. I'm going to do some more research into what his deal is, but the basic numbers indicate that he has been overachieving, and yeah. So Wood has gotten hit a bit recently as well. I don't know if I want to make the over an official play here, but I did bet it at 7 -118, which is a great number. I'm going to hold off as far as an official play is concerned, though. But I did bet the over. Would agree with that. And that's about it for now.
Hunter Engelhardt on Rockies first half money line at +180. And then Viper adding the Giants first 5 -0.5, but Dennis Garcia on Colorado money line. A lot of uncomfort and moving parts. I love that you got on that over.
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder what that first 5 is at right now. Curious. Let's just quickly check this out. And I guess you went with the full game over so that you could include the Rockies bullpen.
Yeah, and it's just there 7 -118. I'm like, all right, it's even if it's not as as explosive offensively as it was yesterday. At a certain point,
Yeah, interesting. Michael Spivak talking about Brandon Belt here, and then Lee Davis saying Brandon Belt likely not in the lineup. So if he is in the lineup, it'll be a great look. Michael, thank you for sharing that with us. All right, I'm not going to move at this point on the Rockies Giants game. Let's review all MLB action and then get into NBA with our guy Wham Bam. Wham Bam coming off a great week last week. Both you guys, man, you guys were just you guys were awesome on Tuesday. Let's go over MLB here. We have 1:10 p.m. game that started off 7 minutes ago. I'm on Detroit first 5 minus 110. I want Detroit in game 2. I will likely bet them regardless, but probably be better if the A's win game 1. But I think the Tigers can sweep here, and I think Adrian Martinez is very vulnerable. I want Baedo here. Then Dodgers, Pirates, no action for us. Brewers, Reds, no action. Mets, Nats, no action. But Pete gets his card started with the Yankees -1, and I want in. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today is the Yankees as well. Pete's on no-run first inning at -115, and Red Sox, Braves, and the first 3 under 2.5 at -150. The first say-hey play of the day is the Twins first 5 plus 115. I'm also going to be on the Twins first 5, but at this point, when Correa is out of the lineup and Buxton may be out of the lineup, when people see that they're out of the lineup, we're probably going to get a bigger number. So I'm going to wait. There. Cards, Orioles. I can understand a move on the Cards here. Do we have a confirmed call on who is pitching? Let me just quickly take a look here with the book has unknown pitcher. Still unknown pitcher at this point, but could be Wainwright. We will see. Royals, Rangers. We've stayed off. Guardians, White Sox. Pete is on the Rays. Team total over 4 at -125. I'm going to be on the Rays here against the Angels. Cubs, Padres, no action. The next say-hey play of the day is the first 5 under 4 -110 with Miami, Arizona. Now, that's what he tweeted out, but he also moved on them at 4.5 at -120. It's available now at 4.5 -120. And Pete's on the Marlins -1 at -102. Pete's on the Phillies first 5 -121. I like that spot as well. And then to put a bow on the MLB, Colorado, San Francisco over 7.5 at -105 is. All right, let's switch gears and move on to NBA. I love these 2 basketball games, and I love everything that's happening in NBA. I'm also on a nice run to close out the year. 39 wins, 16 losses. Just running, and it's got some nice big. I got the plus 275 money line there in Game 5 in Philly with the Raptors. I got a few other plus lines in there, and I'm at my high water mark of the season now. It's a wonderful place to be this late in the season, hitting the high water mark finally. And those of you remember, I was down 23 units in NBA and questioning everything. But now we're sitting 157 and 138, 53.2% plus 8.63 units. ROI plus 2.93%, average line -108. Cashed on the Mavs in Game 3 and Game 4. Cashed on the Grizzlies first quarter and full game yesterday. Just feels like everything's coming into rolling nicely here. Dennis Garcia is on Miami first quarter, Miami full game. Let's break down these 2 NBA spots here with your NBA expert. Come to us from Compton, California. And I love capping with this gentleman. Please welcome to the show, Walter Trotter, the third.
The third, exactly. What's up, Red Girl? What's up, Tease? What's up, Pete? What's up, Jimmy? Man, I'm feeling good, bro. Feeling great.
Yeah, you're coming off a very, very strong day on the show last week. Let's keep that rolling right along. And we get to the East semifinals. Game 5 series is tied 2-2. Sixers, Miami Heat. The Sixers 51-31 on the regular season, 27-14 on the road. And the Heat were 29-12 at home. We have a lot of moving parts here. First, I've already moved on this game with the Heat at -3, and that's gone against me at -2.5. And let's break this down here. It's gone against me. I do not like seeing that. I guess that has to do with Kyle Lowry being out. The Sixers in the playoffs, 6-4, Heat are 6-3, and both have very low pace numbers. Sixers 92.68, Heat 93.78. The series played at 93.50. So very slow pace in the series. Let's just take a look at this market movement. When did it move to 2.5? Wow, funny. So it opened up at 3.5. I knew that. It went to 3. And then this morning at 1:24 a.m., it went to 3.5. And that's what would have made me feel good. 7:56 back to 3. 8:46 in the morning, 3.5 again, which is where I thought it could be 4.5 come tip off. But then 3 at 9:43 a.m. and then 2.5 at 11:46 a.m. That makes me nervous. From a total perspective, opened up at 210, is now at 209.5. Let's take a look at the money in this spot. 19,000 tickets in, 62% of tickets, 63% of cash on the Heat. Then 61% of tickets, 56% of cash on the over. Sixers tied it up 116-108 on Sunday. Harden goes for 31. It's the first game in the playoffs that he scored more than 22 points. Goes with 9 assists, 7 rebounds, 16 in the fourth. Embiid 24 and 11. All 5 starters finished in double figures, and they go 16 of 33 from 3. And the Heat were just 7 of 35 from 3. Bam was nowhere to be found. Jimmy Butler did all the heavy lifting in both games in Philly, 73 points combined. Lowry hamstring is an issue, unavailable here in this game. And then Dwayne Dedmon was sick, and you need him to have some to give Bam a break and to foul Embiid. Pistol Pete, should I be nervous about my spot on the Heat -3?
I'm not sure. I've been focusing mostly on baseball, so I haven't had time to investigate how much the loss of Lowry and Dedmon. Right, Dedmon's out as well for Miami, right? Is that correct?
I don't know if he's officially out. Maybe Wham can let us know, but he's certainly sick.
This game, I have no idea.
Questionable.
Yeah, I have no idea. I want to hear what you guys say, but my 5-second first glance analysis, just from having looked at sports handicapping for 15 years or how long I'm doing it, is why would we not like another low-scoring first quarter under at 54? I don't know, but let's hear what Trotwam has to say. How big of a deal is Lowry? I want to hear his analysis of Lowry. What do you expect, man? I'm thinking first quarter under.
Hey, it worked. It worked the time before. As far as this game, like you mentioned, I mean, Harden had such a crazy game that last game. It was his only 6th time in his career, man, where he's had 60% 3-point percentage on 10 attempts, and that's the first time for a Sixer to ever do that. Scoring 16 points of his 31 in the last 9 minutes of the game. Kind of, man, it's like if he could get to that level, this team is scary, bro. I'll just be honest with you. I just think that the 76ers, honestly, they may have the 4 best of the top 5 players in the series. I think Jimmy Butler could definitely be considered the 2nd best player after Joel. After that, man, I think Bam is sliding, bro. I just think he's not looking like he's good. This whole playoffs, he doesn't really look like he's asserted himself. He doesn't seem like he's had a great series, even within the last series there. But as far as this game, I don't expect the Philadelphia to keep holding these guys to 20% lower from 3. Even if you do get guys like Duncan Robinson out there, I think if they play Duncan Robinson out there, you're going to definitely see him get hunted like, a deer, you know what I'm saying? In deer season, he's going to be out there getting hunted every possession on defense. So he will be getting exploited on that end. But they need some help. They need some help, especially with Lowry out. I think Lowry is going to be a big loss for them. Especially because you continue to have to just rely on Tyler Hero, man. I mean, Tyler Hero, he has moments. This is a great spot for him. They're at the house. Role players play well at the home. I just don't see them being a better team with Embiid on the game. I mean, he's making this team just a lot better. When he's on the floor in the playoffs, the offensive rating, it goes up about, it goes about 4 points. Just before he was in the game, it was around like 7. So it did adjust, but you can obviously tell, like when he's on the court, the defense plays a little bit better for Philadelphia. Their offense is a little bit better, and they're getting open shots. They're getting shots that they were getting snifled on. I mean, the first 2 games, Danny Green could be nowhere to be found. Now he's actually vulnerable. He's making his shots in open position. So I think that all that has to do with Embiid being in the game. And I did like the 76ers last game and Bunny line. I'm kind of like in the same way here as well. I haven't made this official here. I wanted to talk to you guys. I think that was the most successful part of last show, not making the bets until we actually talk these out. But I'm thinking, honestly, bro, I'm thinking the 76ers kind of gets it done. I like Embiid being in the lineup. And as far as James Harden, he doesn't really have to do that in order for them to win. He just really has to, be kind of okay on shooting. And if he gets to the line like they were able to do, that's one of the things I believe that's going to be good for them. What I will say for Miami, though, what they do have in good is that these shots haven't been falling, but they have been getting to the line. Victor Oladipo, me and Babano talked about it last game. He was going to get to the line. I kind of already seen it. Most of his points came from the 3 free throw line. So I think that type of dynamic, along with Jimmy Butler, is going to help for sure. Without Kyle Lowry, you're going to see Victor Oladipo get a lot of touches, get a lot of looks. I like his points over 12.5 points. I think it was at 9 or 7.5 when me and Babano got on the last game. I think we go back to the well again with Victor Oladipo at 12.5, especially without Lowry. I really like that look for Miami. If anything on their side, I think that's kind of the clear-cut bet for me. But I do believe that 76ers win today, man.
Wow. I'm nervous.
A lot of people, though, saying Miami early. Mal likes Heat first quarter money line. Heat race to 20. Who else? A lot of people that we respect liking Miami early, and a few people that we don't respect also liking Miami. No, I'm kidding around. We respect everyone, but a lot of people like Dennis Garcia, Miami first quarter and full game. Mal, Miami first quarter and race to 20.
Yeah, I guess there's some certain similarities between this series and the one that we're going to speak on next. And it's funny that I do believe in look, I haven't moved on the Mavericks, and I'm going to. So why would I sit here and say that there's a vividness or a recency bias on these last 2 games in Philly and it will change in Miami if I don't think that's going to happen in the next game? But the Heat, when a team goes 7 of 35 from 3 on the road in Game 4 to tie up the series, I just feel like they're going to come back home, and the home crowd will boost them into glory. Now, obviously, I want Lowry on the floor, and he's not going to be there. But then it goes back to my thinking that I don't think the 76ers are that good of a basketball team. Hey, this is not. I mean, the Celtics or the Bucks, it's a different story. But here, I don't think the Sixers are that good. And I think that clearly Miami is not as good right now as we thought they were going to be at this point in the year. So, but I'm nervous about this market move. Billy Friedrich says coaching advantage for the Heat too. Supposed to have the Heat making adjustments. Pistol Pete, are you making anything official for this game?
I just have a very quick question. Why, Trotwam, would we not like the first quarter under? Is it that you think that with Lowry out, how does that affect the pace? And you think that Miami after the bad shooting night will come out and try to establish some kind of offensive identity as opposed to a defensive identity?
No, I could see the under here. I could see the under playing out there. The last game did go over in Miami with them going to 119 points. I think they can have a better offensive game. I don't think they're going to hold them to 20% either, Jim. So I don't believe that the defense is going to be as tight as it was for Philly. And plus, they got calls too, bro. Let's be honest. Like, they got some calls. You know what I mean? Their way for Philadelphia at the house. Maybe not getting the same calls here too. So I think the calls are going to be on Miami. That's why I like Victor Oladipo, and that's going to be an official play for me. I haven't locked that in yet, but that's going to be an official play. I really like the Victor Oladipo over 12.5 points. I just believe he's going to get to the line. And as far as the under, what you're saying, that I don't remember how that first. I want to say the first one did go under, did it?
I'm actually only talking about first quarter.
I'm sorry, the first quarter under did go under last game. Well, it's actually I believe it went over. It's 28 and 30. It looked like that's probably went over there. What's the number at it now?
Yeah, 54. Cutting it a little bit close. Well, 54 juice. 54 minus 115. I'm seeing that Will Hill. That's cutting it close, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I'm gonna stay away from the actual. Mm-hmm. I think you're on the right path, and I don't want to stop you, Pete, because you know what I mean. I learned from you, sir. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean. You might be on the right spot. I just don't.
Miami's a little bit more. Don't they clamp down defensively? Isn't that what they do?
That's the problem, though. That's the problem for me, though. At least because their defense is going to be focused in on Joel, and these guys are making shots. I think LJ said it in the chat, like, since he's been back there shooting 50% from the field, 48% from three, those look like some really good, solid ass numbers right there. I haven't really confirmed that, but that sounds like that's what I'm seeing here since he's been back. Their offense has just looked a lot better, and James Harden, he's showing in his game.
What a game! What a matchup! Jeez.
Both of these are going to be so much fun. The playoffs in NHL and NBA have been spectacular. What did you get at? Did you look line shop for this 12.5?
Yeah, I'm seeing right now available for me is -104. So I think you may be able to get. I think because this is Bovada. We know you may be able to get 11. You may be able to get the 11.5 there, some other place. But what I'm going to actually bet on is going to be the 12.5. Yeah, you could get 11.5, -126. So you're playing juice there. I think you might as well just take the 12.5. So we can make that official -104.
All right.
Victor Oladipo.
Yeah, it's -105 at Bet365. I saw -128 over at FanDuel. I love it.
You know what, Jimmy the Bag?
Yeah.
I think this is one of the classic series tied up at 2-2. So the game 5 winds up being similar to a game 1 or a game 7. You can give me the under. First quarter, 54, -115. That's the current line at Will Hill. If it loses, I'll eat the loss.
I like that. It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
In fact, I would probably have some interest in the Sixers team total under in that first quarter. I wonder what that would be here. Let me get that going here. First quarter team total under 26.5. I have interest there. Okay. All right. I'm on the Heat -3. I'm a little nervous because the market's gone to 2.5, but I think I'm in business here. Too bad Lowry's not in. And I do have interest in that team total under. I wonder, is it possible that Harden has confidence for the first time in, a month?
Oh my God, Rayhan Hyder, Miami max play. Wow.
Hey man, I could see it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I haven't bet this yet. I want to talk to you guys about it. I'm maybe going to talk a little bit more about it with my guys a little bit later on, just to try to get a sense of, am I on the right side here thinking that the 76ers are going to win? But I hit it last time, and it's annoying that you don't make certain things official. You want to get that out there. So that's the way I'm thinking here. But again, the official play for me in that game that I just bet right now is over 12.5 -104.
Great work by Rob Miller. He went to the alternate points at FanDuel and got you a +104. So that's great.
Good looking out, man. That's love. Appreciate it.
That's great. Okay.
Appreciate you.
You know what? I'm just going to stay with the Heat full game. Derek Miller said, I think you see the Jimmy Butler of the Lakers final, the Jimmy that comes out balling. Mike M says, time to put some respect on these Sixers. They were dead and buried last series and have done nothing but win since then. Polo that says, easiest bet is no wire-to-wire win.
-138. That's surprising. I'm surprised.
It is surprising. Yeah. And he's been on this the different spots throughout the playoffs and cashed with it. I love our guy Polo that.
And it wouldn't be one thing about this game too. That another thing that got me a little scared about the 76ers, because it wouldn't be a game that they care about too much if they lose. They need to take care of home court. They just need to win one game in Miami. You know what I mean? So that could be a folding appetite there. So I'm kind of torn, to be honest with you. I'm hoping that you cash, bro. I may be talking myself off of it, but 76. Another thing too, I was like, why I don't trust Dylan Brooks. Do I really trust Doc Rivers? Like, I don't really trust some of these people in real life. So maybe I shouldn't trust them with my money,
Oh, I do know. Doc Rivers, I don't trust at all with my cash. But he did call a timeout one time in Toronto at the right moment. All right, let's move on. Game 5, West semifinals. Series is tied 2-2. Dallas Mavericks, 52-30, 23-18 on the road at Phoenix Suns, 64-18, 32-9 at home. Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. I was watching that Warriors game closely, and I was watching that left knee of Steph. And the more I watched it, the more I was like, look, he's a superstar and he's playing through it, but something's not right. He's just not moving right. And I'm worried about him as the playoffs go further. And I think that any team that plays the Warriors, he just doesn't look right to me, Steph. Even though he, stepped up in the fourth quarter last game, but watching him run, watching him take cuts, there's something wrong with that left knee. And I think that if the Mavericks could somehow get past the Suns, I think they're going to be live against the Warriors. And obviously, I've got them at 18-1 to win the West and 33-1 to win it all. So I'm a little jaded. Okay, let's talk about Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Here, the pace 93.63 possessions a game, almost the exact same pace of this Sixers Heat series. And the Mavs come in off back-to-back double-digit home wins to tie the series. I could not believe I got offered a plus 115 on the money line in Game 4. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I didn't open up the coffers, as Teef would say. I just made a regular bet, but I was astonished. Let's talk about the market here. Last night I was waiting with the Grizzlies because I thought earlier in the day I was like, oh, this is going to go to 10.5. So then it goes to 9.5, and I'm like, oh God, is this going to come back to 10? I waited till about 8 minutes before tip-off before I bet the 9.5 because I was saying, will this go to 10 at Bet365? Because I did see it go to 10 at Pinnacle, but then it went back to 9.5 at minus 105, and I was like, okay, just move on it. But let's talk about this spot here. Mavs open up as 6.5-point dogs. Right now they're 6-point dogs, but with no vig or little vig, a minus 105. From a total perspective, it opens up at 213. Now we're up to 250. Chris Paul was in horrendous foul trouble all of Game 4. He looked awful in Dallas. We know the kind of player he is, and we know that he's more than capable of being the point guard that he's often referred to as. 7 first-half turnovers in Game 3, then foul trouble all of Game 4. Then the Mavericks go 20 of 44 from 3, and we know that the Suns just aren't going to win if Paul's on the bench. Finney Smith, 24 points, 8 of 12 from 3. You have Finney Smith, Kleba, and Bullock all hitting threes, and they look tough right now. Devin Booker goes for 35. Chris Paul, 5 points. Look, I'm not going to get used to that. I want the Mavericks I've decided not to take them on the money line here, even though they didn't cover either of the first 2 games in Phoenix. I just feel like this team believes in themselves. I think they're going to take care of business. Take it away here, Pistol Pete, Loshak, Mavericks, Suns. Is there a look that you want?
No, I want to listen to what you guys have to say. The obvious thing to do, the no-brainer thing to do is to take, Phoenix early. And now I see Sammy Colmer, Suns first quarter, minus 2.5, my top play of the day. The no-brainer, no analysis, 3-second capping of this game would be take Suns early, and maybe that's just the right thing to do.
What do you think, Wayne?
Yeah, it's very interesting, man. Suns haven't lost 3 straight games all year, and it seems like the home cooking was great for Jalen Bronson and DFS Dorian Finney-Smith. Last time we were in Phoenix, it was a lot of hero ball from Luka. So if that's the case, I think that's isolating some of those role players. They may have a little issue and coming down the stretch and winning this game, in my opinion. After the loss on Sunday, Phoenix is now 16-5 straight up after a loss. And Chris Paul obviously didn't play well, like you mentioned. I expect him to play a little bit better at the house. I don't know what happened with his mom or anything, or if that's going to fuel anything in this game. I don't think that's any way to add into the capping, but I think that is something to note. You know what I mean? Because there may be something that's harped on the media side of this, where they're like, their storylines or what they like to talk about on a national televised, event there. But my thing I want to key in on is probably this total, man. Like, this total is very interesting. This is very interesting as far as like how these two teams has been playing, like as far as, scoring and playing defense. You know what I mean? Last game didn't get to the over. I believe it's at 112.5. It's at 112. it ends off at, if I'm not mistaken. But in this game, man, I think that the Mavs, what they've been doing on the road so far is what they're going to continue to do. They're allowing 113 points per game. You know, that's uncharacteristic. They ended the season at 107, what they're doing on the road to opponents. So it's a little uncharacteristic, but I believe that this is going to be a good opportunity to take the team total over for the Suns. Instead of taking anything on the side, I wouldn't be surprised if they cover as far as Dallas. You know, they got those guys shooting pretty good. But in my opinion, I think taking advantage of what they already shown us on the road so far in the postseason, and along with them coming back with a little bit more vengeance, maybe Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson play a little bit better in this game. And I'm not sure if we've noticed, but it's all about Ayton and this Phoenix Suns team. Like, literally, if he's playing well, they're going to win. It's that simple. He didn't play well, they are going to lose. So it's really about him to me. Like, if he gets to 20 points, they're going to clearly win this game and cover. They don't get to that. If he don't get to that number, they're going to lose. So I'm probably going to be looking at something far like a combo along with the team total, like 20 points, Suns win, maybe a combo like that. But I think the best bet in this game for me that I haven't made yet again is going to be the team total over for the Suns. I believe that they're going to get 113 points. I believe it's maybe at 111 or whatever the case may be. I don't think it's at 111. I think it's like 107 and a half, 8 around there. I think that's probably a good way to look.
Yeah, well, first off, with the Chris Paul thing, like, for me, if I was a star of a basketball team and we're talking about crucial playoff games, you think I'd bring my family into the arena of the opposing team?
Right?
Of course not.
A veteran too, though.
I'm not going to put my mom in the line of danger.
Oh, maybe it was because it was Mother's Day, right? Wasn't it Mother's Day? So, you know, maybe we want to have his mom there on Mother's Day or some shit.
Well, great. Deal with the consequences, Chris.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there it is.
That's such bullshit. Of course. Oh, my God. Now, look, I don't want his mom to be touched by anyone.
Of course, bro. Of course, yeah. That's I got you, though.
They're all going to be like, hey, look, there's Chris Paul's mom after 12 beers. No.
Right.
So, like,
after losing this bet and shit, like, you think about all that, like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy shit.
You look, you have $500 losing tickets. Somebody goes, hey, look, there's Chris Paul's mom.
That's fucked up.
What are you gonna do? You know, not me, but
not you. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I got you.
I think I get the way you see this. I get the way everybody sees this. We have a veteran laden team that's just lost 2 straight games on the road. Unlike the Heat, they're coming back home healthy. And we watched them make it all the way to the NBA Finals last week. I get what everybody's saying. I get it. But I just think the Mavericks can play with this team, and the best player on the floor plays for the Dallas Mavericks. And when people disrespect the Raptors as their future is right now, it's because in the most important games of the year, they don't have the best player on the floor. And
you know what I say? I'll add this to it too. I don't have Luka in my top 5, but I have Devin Booker in my top 5. So I would disagree with you, the best player on the floor, just because you've seen it on both ends. Even in this series, he's playing both ends and he's still scoring at a high output. Like I said, it is about Ayton to win the game. So he's probably not the MVP. It's like more of a better team for the Suns. But I still think Luka has some time to go. He has to get in shape. Still got some time to go to be the best player. I think Devin Booker there.
Wow, I don't think. I think I almost put Luka's mom ahead of Devin Booker. That's I don't think Booker's a spectacular basketball player, but Luka's just otherworldly.
Hey.
But I love it, and I love the debates. Pistol Pete, are you going to make anything official here for Maverick Suns?
Man, this is a tough one. I'm going to hold off. A lot of great comments in the comments section that have me wanting to watch the game, but I think I'm going to hold off. Clearly, all the people that we respect, which is everyone, liking Suns first quarter. Here you go, LJ from H-Town, Suns first quarter. Sammy Comer liking Suns first quarter. So many people loving Suns early here.
I can't wait to watch this basketball game. I can't wait to watch the rest of this series. This is worth the price of admission because of the elite basketball players on the floor. I'm just so excited about it.
Right.
Wham Bam, are you making something official here in Maverick Suns?
Yeah, that's how I thought I'd look at it. It is at 10.5 as far as the consensus, I believe, for the Suns team total. So I'm gonna stay away from that. I'm maybe looking into that Ayton prop. I haven't found that yet, but Ayton at least 20 points. Phoenix to win. That's what I'm thinking here. And again, the reason why I like Phoenix to win rather than taking the spread, because the Mavericks, as road dogs, they lost 9 of the last 26 games. So as road dogs, so that's the way I'm winning. I'm sorry they won. 9 of the last 26. Sorry guys, a little bit on that cupcake chicken. You know what I'm saying? Cupcake chicken weed right now, like Dutch would say.
That's a valid excuse. That is a valid excuse.
There it is.
Well, so if you make a move on it, will you tweet it out?
Yeah, I'll let that one be official. I wanted to talk to you guys about it, and I appreciate, you know what I'm saying, just having the space to do that. So, bro, and once it's official, it's going to go on Twitter there. So, but sure, I'm locked in on the prop for Victor Oladipo over 12.5. That locked that in already.
We provide people safe spaces to discuss their handicapping opinions.
I appreciate that. I love that space. I love the space.
That's funny. I like it. I love it, Wham. Let's get hot, man. It was a great week last week. Let's keep rolling. So official picks here. Wham's on Oladipo over 12.5 points. By the way, Billy Friedrich found out a bookmaker plus 113. So
nice.
we've 17 cents from the beginning. Pete's on the first quarter under 54. Yeah, first quarter under 54 minus 115 for Pete. I'm on the Heat minus 3, and I will be on the Mavs plus 6. Let's just take a look at the cash here in the Mavs game with the spread right now. See, this is why I gotta wait. I don't see how I gotta wait. There's got to be a 6.5 coming. It just moved from 70 to 69%, but 69% of the spread tickets are on the Suns and 81% of the cash. So it's all Suns money coming in. Now, on the money line, it's very different because people are taking shots on the Mavs. The Mavs have 10% of the tickets, but 90% of the cash, which is wild. Then 27% tickets and 61% cash on the under. It's okay. So I think I must wait. But I will be on the Mavs at some point. And Dennis says, "Oh, forget the spread. You mean just take the money line?" I know. That was my plan to be in the series, but I guess when push comes to shove and you got to click the button, I've just been safing my way out of that. So I probably should though. And let me just see what the money line would be right now at my book here. It would be plus 220. It's juicy. All right, Wham Bam, go get that cash. You can catch Wham Bam in 2 hours and 11 minutes starring on NBA Pub Hub. And he's here every Tuesday. And it'll be just you and Pistol Pete and Jose next Tuesday. I'll be still on vacation.
Hey,
so.
man, brother. Enjoy.
We'll do it.
Lock it in. We'll lock it in.
This will be one of those situations where it's like the star player's out, and then people are like, well, how did it go? You don't want the show to go too good. Remember that? That was an old Loshak in the Bag show inside joke. Remember that, Jimmy the Bag?
Yeah, I do remember.
You don't want the show to go too good.
Yeah, there was some star NBA player who was out, and they asked all the other players, they were like, how did it go? And they were like, so good. And we were like, that's a team maybe we want to fade.
Yeah, that's when we got the everybody eats, right?
I just remember that it was such a fun inside joke to do in the old Loshak in the Bag shows.
I love it. I love it. Wham Bam, thanks for rolling with us, my man. And good luck. Get that cash. There he is. Wham Bam.
That, Jim, right? I'm not.
Oh, yeah, I remember it well. Yeah. And it's the same thing in stand-up when you have the opener to a star. Like, you'll get a ton of work if you do average. Like, if you do really well, they don't want you to open for them.
Oh, right. Yes, right, exactly. Yes, no, I've heard about that. All right, so after you have your vacation and then when you come back, can we do that joke on your first show back?
Oh, let's do that joke.
Oh, I'm so psyched for it. Awesome. It's going to be great.
All right, let's review action in NHL. Pete's on the first period under 1.5 at plus 112 in Boston, Carolina. The NHL spreadsheet play today is on Carolina. Then first period over 1.5 at minus 160 in Tampa, Toronto for Pistol Pete Loshak. Pete's on the Wild -1 at plus 110, and the Blues team total under 3.5 at minus 160. That's where I'm eating. I'm on the Wild -1 at plus 114, and the Blues team total under 3 at minus 112 with a ton of confidence. And then Kings Oilers. Dennis Garcia says, I'm going to go broke betting the Kings, and I have enormous respect for his capping. I can't. I have not done it, but I would not. There's no way I'd touch the Oilers. Not a chance. All right, then we move on to baseball. What's the score in Detroit? How's it looking for me?
0-0.
Yeah,
0-0.
I should have taken the first 3 and first 5 under. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
In the middle of the third. All right. So I'm on the Screwball at -110. I'd like to be on the Tigers in game 2. I plan to be on the Tigers in game 2. I'm going to watch this a little more. Dodgers, Pirates, we are off. Brewers, Reds, we're off. Mets, Nats, we're off. Pete gets his card started with the Yankees -1. I'm going to bet that after the show. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today is the Yankees as well. Pete's on no-run first inning in Red Sox Braves at -115, and the first 3 under 2.5 at -150. Say Hey play today number 1 is the Twins first 5 at plus 115. I'm going to wait on that because when the lineups come out and everybody sees there's no Correa, possibly no Buxton, I'll get a better number, and I'm still going to bet it. I can understand moving on the cards. We need a little bit more time there. There's DX Byler in the house. What up, DX, my man? Royals, Rangers off. That was the under 4.5 that I was trying to remember, Jose. That's the one that I'm going to stay off that I planned on betting, but I'm going to stay off. Guardians, White Sox, no action. Pete's on the Rays team, total over 4 -125. I'm going to bet the Rays on the money line. Cubs, Padres, we stayed off. Second Say Hey play today is the first 5 under 4 with Marlins Diamondbacks, but he did move on to 4.5 as well. Then Marlins -1 at -102 is Pistol Pete Loshak. JP just says Wild is your best NHL play. Wild -1. Yeah, and Blues team total under 3 I'm in love with. I'm in love with those two plays. They're correlated, so pick whichever one you want, but I'm in love with them. Pete's on the Phillies first 5 -121. I'm going to come with him on that. And then the taint play of the day is Colorado, San Francisco over 7.5. And there you have it. B-Lab 69, JPZ, T-Mag, DX Byler, Derek Miller, Mike M, SOKK, Spenny Penny Bombs, Coin, Billy Friedrich, LJ from H-Town, Rem Most, Puzzler. Thank you guys so much. Poppy Cat, Rob Miller, Dennis Garcia. What a great, great group. Jared TG, Max Swelly. Thank you guys. Polo this, polo that. The show will be in the good hands of Jose Bouquet. And we've got a ton of action here. I believe the golf show pops off in 6 minutes at 2 p.m. I believe the golf show, 2 p.m. Then we have prize picks, MLB prize picks with Sharpie on his birthday. That's at 3:10 p.m. I apologize. There's a little bit of action in the background here. Then at 4 p.m., NBA Pub Hub. At 5:30 p.m., Jose Bouquet Say Hey play of the day. And that will be only here for the rest of the week, here at 11 a.m. Eastern when Jose hosts this show. There you have it. We're in business.
You're free.
You're
free, Jim. You made it.
I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys in a week. And thanks for the love. Any last words, Pistol Pete, for my vacation or anything at all that you want to mention before we put a bow on?
Where are you going? Where are you going?
I'm going down to Clearwater for a couple days. Down to Clearwater. Nice. And then we're moving over to Orlando for the last few days.
Well, that's where the Phillies have spring training at. That's nice. How lovely.
It does look beautiful there, yeah.
Have a great time. You know, people are always saying, like, can you ever be sincere? Yes, I can. And this is one of them. Jimmy the Bag, have a great fucking time. You've earned it. You deserve it. And I hope you have a wonderful and lovely vacation with your family.
You're a good man. You're a good man. And the show is in the strong hands.
My hands are sweating. They're already sweating.
Sweaty.
I can't wait. Man. You know what, Jim? Hold on. Hold on. Let's just do this already. Pete, let's take over here. Pete, let's do this, Pete.
Okay,
me and
what's
you,
going on now?
We're taking over. We got this, Pete. Next Tuesday, you and we're going to do this show right, and it's going to go extremely average, but it will be better than Jimmy.
Yeah, that's how we're gonna pitch it. I'll make a tweet. I'm gonna say I am very confident that the show will be slightly better than most of the handicapping shows out there, and I mean that sincerely.
Isaiah Scurry, I will, man. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up. Much love, you guys. Jose, you want to get used to lecturing us out, man?
Well, we do a different outro when you're not here, Jim, but I'll do it since you're here. Well, I mean, Jim, come on, Jim. And by the way, some mini breaking news. Tom Brady going to go to Fox after his career and announce games. His contract for that, 10 years, $375 million. That is more average annual value than Mike Trout and more money than Francisco Lindor got in his 10-year, $340 million deal from the Mets. So shout out to Tom Brady for getting a bag. Now let's get out of here, everyone, while Jimmy says hello to his family. Peter, thank you so much for your inspiration, as always. I love your glasses. Let's get these slippery hands in here, and I cannot wait for tomorrow and this whole week. Jim, enjoy your vacation. Have your feet in the sand, and maybe I should have the outro ready to go, ready to click before I do all this. But remember, guys, let's fucking get those fucking bookies. Leche a los bookmakers.